Let's see. Hey guys, what's up? Can you guys hear me? How's everybody doing? Welcome to the RWBY Volume 5 stream. It has been a while since I've done one of these. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna try to prep everything, get everything set up. Hopefully there's no connection issues. Just so people are wondering too, oh man, I will be putting on, what's it called? I will be putting on slow chat once we actually get into the discussion, just because right here, the chat is exploding. Hey, Abigail, how's it going? Yeah, I remember you from RTX last year and this year. And I have a big thing of water, so don't mind me. I'm going to be going through this within the next couple of hours while we're going to be streaming. Give me 1 second. I have to fix something on my camera really quick. Can you guys hear me pretty well? I'm going to try to have some music on in the background. So if you guys can kind of help me out with managing that, I would greatly appreciate it. Yeah, I've got plenty of water. Yeah. He pulls out a jug of water out of nowhere. No, like I just have it on the side over here. And instead of constantly going back for bottles of water, I just bought like this giant jug. I have a couple of them. And I just drink straight up from here. Too loud? It's too loud, you're saying. Give me a second. I'll see if I can fix that. Let's see. Too loud, you say? Huh. How's that? I lowered it quite a bit. Hold on. Let me try again. Alright. It is at base level right now, so should be a bit better. Don't joke, Ray. I'm actually thinking you guys are being serious. Lujuan113. For some reason, someone followed me over on my Twitch channel, even though I'm streaming on YouTube. But if you are somehow here and you're following over there, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for that. That's the one thing, though. You're gonna have to constantly hear Penny every so often. Oh yeah, I got the I got this Pira shirt at RTX. So someone in the chat mentioned it. Yeah, I got this at RTX, and all of my RTX stuff actually just got back to my house today. So yeah, I just decided to wear it today to kind of. It's a RWBY video, so I felt like it only fits. So before anything, let me try to put some music on because I don't want this to be a really boring live stream discussion like the ones I did last year. Excuse me. So, I'm going to be playing some really awesome OSTs courtesy of a good friend of mine here on YouTube by the name of Jeremiah George. Some of you guys may or may not know who he is. He does a bunch of orchestra, like battle orchestra music on his YouTube channel for a bunch of different series. The ones that I pertain to like really enjoy and really listen to a lot and feature a lot of them in my videos is the RWBY orchestra battle orchestras that he does. So it's copyright friendly, so I'm gonna have that in the background. So if you guys can just let me know how the audio level is for the music, just so it's not overpowering my voice or anything, just so we could have something to listen to in the background while I ramble for the next hour, 2 hours or so. So yeah, Jerry's awesome. Jerry's really great. I managed to actually be in one of his live streams when he was making, I think it was Armed and Ready. I think that was the last one that he was doing, and that was the first live stream that I was actually able to join live as he was working on it. No, this isn't going to be 5-hour live stream discussion, alright? The live stream discussion for Volume 4 was 5 hours because that was the finale, and that episode was like 30 minutes long, whereas this live stream discussion, we're basically talking about a 4-minute trailer. And I really want you guys' engagement to drive this discussion because I feel like there's only so much I can kind of input in terms of my own thoughts and opinions of the trailer and everything now that it's out to the public and now everybody knows what it's all about and everyone has seen it. So before anything, let's try this. Let me know how the audio is. I can't really tell from my own side of things because I'm broadcasting it, so I don't know how it's going to be received on your end. But it's just going to be a bunch of OSTs. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I will put this... I'll put these I'll put this entire playlist in the description of this video for anybody out there who wants to check it out. Jerry's playlist. And I'll put that in the description for anybody who wants to check it out on your own. Or if any of you guys don't know about him, that's kind of like a pseudo shout out for him as well. I love it. It's good? Okay, there we go. I think it's a bit quiet. Okay, hold on, let me, actually, you know what? Give me 1 second. I will fix it from here. Oh, that's probably a bit too loud. How's that? Let me know. Actually, I'll fix it. I'm gonna fix it from here, actually. Perfect. Sounds good. Good. Okay. Alrighty. Alright, I'm just gonna lower it in my headset so I can actually hear myself. For a hell of a long time waiting, probably around 3 hours or so, Arnold can really extend things. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's no surprise to anybody. Or it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. At this point, at least, for the discussions that I get into with, when it comes to RWBY and discussing, like, trailers or episodes, whatever. So, for those of you guys who are asking, this is Jeremiah George's rendition of Armed and Ready. This is the orchestral battle arrangement. So, really, like I said, he's super freaking talented. And this is an entire playlist, so it's going to go through all of the songs that he has. And at some point, I will refresh it and start it over if we're still chatting and whatnot. But, before I get into anything, I want to know, what did you guys think about the Weiss character short? Because technically, that is the second character short that we've gotten out of 4. Technically, the Volume 4 character short, I guess, is now unofficially dubbed the RWBY character short, and this is the Weiss character short. We're going to be getting the Blake and Yang character short before Volume 5. So I'm assuming July will be Weiss, August will be Blake, September will be Yang, October will be Volume 4's premiere. So I'm actually really excited about that because, like, last year I felt like it was a big drought between RTX and Volume 4. And it seemed like October was when we were getting everything about RWBY at the very last minute before its premiere. So I like how now this year they're spreading things out a bit. We're going to have a lot of content to talk about, especially after, you know, RTX and everything. And then we have New York Comic Con, which is, they mentioned that they're going to have a presence there. And they're going to be talking about a bunch of awesome stuff regarding Volume 5 and whatnot. So a lot of great things, a lot of things we can look forward to. I'm very much excited, as you guys all know. Another year of RWBY just means another year of content, another year of discussions and videos up the wazoo from me. So it's going to be really exciting this year, especially to see, seeing what Volume 5 looks like with the Weiss short. So, 85 days and holy shit, dude. We are less than 3 months away. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, and RTX London is, I think that kicks off the day the episode of RWBY comes out. So most likely they'll probably do like a first episode like screening there at the RWBY panel, most likely. But yeah, I'm just stoked. I feel like it's been forever. It really feels like it feels so long since the Volume 4 finale. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. I mean, it was in February that it ended, and we're in July, but it feels so much longer. Maybe it's just because I've been occupied with a bunch of other things that now when I stop and think about it, it's like, damn, man, Volume 4 felt like forever, and now Volume 5 is right around the corner. So time really does fly. Time flies. But, yeah, we're going to be getting into this Weiss character short discussion, so I hope you guys enjoy. Also, really quick, I never got to make a video about it because I felt like time had already passed too long regarding, like, my news roundup for all the RWBY stuff announced at RTX, and I honestly chalked that up to because I was sick, and you know, every day that I was sick was just another day that it was just like, okay, the information's already out there for people. So I wasn't really able to kind of address and talk about a lot of the stuff that is going to be coming for Rooster Teeth, mainly because the video game announcement I already covered. RWBY is going to be featured in the new Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle video game next year. Ruby Rose is already confirmed. We don't know if Weiss, Blake, Yang, or any other characters are going to be featured. Most likely, more characters will be featured since it's a crossover game. And then, obviously, the Weiss character short's already out. October 14th is the release date, premiere date of Volume 5, so that's another thing that everybody already knows. And ultimately, I think the only other thing to address really is that there's going to be a fuck ton of RWBY merch that's going to be coming out in the next couple of months. For those of you who don't know, they're actually making the actual Pumpkin Pete cereal. They showed it off at RTX. That's exclusively through FYE. I already pre-ordered a few boxes myself, but they're actually making a Pumpkin Pete cereal, which is that right there is just like ridiculous, because it initially was a joke that was featured once in Volume 1 and then referenced again in Volume 4. And, you know, like, they have the Pumpkin Pete hoodie, and I feel like now they're just taking it to the next level, like, higher and higher. So, there's that. But I did get a few things from RTX that I'll just show off to you guys really quick. I don't know if any of these are in the Rooster Teeth store yet, but I just wanted to show them off to you guys. So first off, I got one of these. I've never gotten these before, so I'm going to open this right now. It's one of the blind box mystery figures. You can get any of these characters. You can get one of Team RWBY, one of Team Juniper, and from what I've been told, Sun, Neptune, and Zwei are the rare features. So I got this at RTX. I've never gotten any of these before, just because I really don't like kind of like blind box, like random by chance factor, especially if it's a collectible set. And like, the worst thing for me is if I buy a fuck ton of these and I keep getting the same one over and over again when I just need a specific one. So give me 1 second. Where did I put it? I don't know where I put my knife. Oh well. Hold on. So I'm gonna open this really quick, get this out of the way, and I figured, like, it's RWBY, I can open it on screen, kind of show it to people. Alright, so personally, I would like to get RWBY, Pyrrha, or Zwei. Those are the one of the three that, if I had it, if the cards were in my favor, I'd want that. Alright, so I have no idea. Oh, really? It's in a bag too? Alright, so let's open this. Who'd I get? Oh! I got Sun! I got Sun Wukong. This isn't bad. I really like Sun in RWBY Chibi. He's become like one of my favorites on screen. Whenever he shows up, he says something funny or he does something funny. I really like Sun. I can't be mad with this. Isn't he one of the rare ones? Or is it Neptune and Zwei that are the rare ones? I don't remember. Okay, Sun is the okay, never mind. No, he's not. Neptune and Zwei, 1 in 24 chance of getting them. Sun is a 2 in 24 chance along with Team Juniper. And then the chances of getting a Team RWBY member is 3 out of 24. So, he's kind of like the tier 2 level of rarity.
Calm down. We're not here for your money.
What was that?
Personally, the red one made me freak out more since RWBY is my favorite character. But I absolutely loved the upscale and animation in the white short.
Yes.
Also,
the fire effects! Yo, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. Oh my gosh, we are absolutely gonna get into that. The fire effect, that one shot that she like conjured the fire dust out of her blade and just shot it. That was like, that's probably my favorite shot in that entire character short. But so we got Sun. Also, really quick, I bought this, but I didn't buy it for me. I bought it for somebody on the channel. So I'm going to be doing a giveaway at some point, fingers crossed, hopefully before Volume 5. But I bought this at RTX, and I already have enough figures, and I don't really kind of, like, similar to, like, the blind box figures, I'm not going to buy every little single figure that Rooster Teeth, like, dishes out, just because I do have, like, a standard of, like, what figures I'm into and what figures I'm interested in. But I bought this at RTX. I don't know if it's in the store yet, but I bought this, and I'm going to be giving this away on the channel. This is a Beowulf Grimm. Got this the day of RTX. They were selling these in the exhibit hall at the RTX store. I don't know if they're available in the like I said, I don't know if they're available in the Rooster Teeth online store yet. But here's the little description of the Grimm Beowulf, and these are kind of like the 4-inch vinyl line. So you have the Team RWBY vinyl line, they're coming out with the Juniper vinyl line, and then this is the 6-inch vinyl line for the Beowulf Grimm. And like I said, I'm not a big fan of these kind of figures, so I didn't buy this for myself. I bought this honestly to give away on the channel at some point. So so there's that. Someone at some point, hopefully, like I said, fingers crossed, before Volume 5, if I can get my shit together by then, we'll be getting that. I bought for myself, though, I bought this RWBY calendar. It's a 2018 RWBY calendar, and then on the back it has like all of the characters featured. Crow, Pyrrha, RWBY, Nora, Torchwick, Mercury, etc. This is the 2018 calendar. It's probably going to go in the back over there. I very rarely buy calendars, so I just saw this and I was like, I might as well just get it. And then the biggest thing, and I think this is going to be coming to the RT store as well, a 1,000 piece puzzle set of the Volume 4 poster, or the image of the Volume 4 poster, like the one I have in the back there. This was the first thing that I saw when I got there, and I wanted to buy a second one to give away. I left the RT store, I came back the next day, and they were already sold out. So they sold these at RTX as well. Most likely they will have them in the RTX store, the online store rather, in a couple weeks, hopefully. But yeah, so someone will be getting the Grimm one, and then the other ones are just merch that will hopefully be able to, make their way to the store in due time. Yeah, I'm gonna finish the puzzle, I'm gonna glue it, and then I'm gonna frame it, because Volume 5 poster will be coming down when the... Volume 4 poster will be coming down when the Volume 5 poster goes up, so... Hey, what's up, Hey, Dom, how's it going? Alright, enough rambling, enough showing off. We are here to discuss the RWBY Volume 4 Weiss character short. Also, Derek, thank you as well for the donation and the comment. I do appreciate that, as always, very much. Oh, but you're saying you like the white character short. I'm sorry, the red character short a little bit better. And I think these character shorts are kind of like, I don't want to say that they're like direct homages, but it's kind of cool how they're basically remaking trailers again. Like they're remaking like the red trailer. Like the character short for Volume 4 felt like an homage to the original red trailer. This one felt like an homage to the white trailer. And they also mentioned that the Blake and Yang character short, not all of the shorts will be combat focused, which is kind of cool, kind of interesting. So we can actually we can expect maybe to just get a dialogue scene or something along those lines. Not everything is just going to be punching, kicking awesomeness going on. Which personally, for the next two character shorts, I think Blake's character short would be kind of cool. Maybe if they go the route of going back to the past again, like they did the Weiss character short, seeing like Blake's interaction with Adam pre-Black trailer, obviously. Maybe getting a little bit more of a dynamic between them two before shit hit the fan with them. Telegi, or Telly DJI. I don't want to mispronounce that, but thank you for the follow. And then Yang's would be kind of cool to see what she's up to right now if she decided to go towards RWBY or towards her mother and the Bandits at the end of Volume 4. So, or maybe Blake and Ilya, you know, seeing Blake and Ilya, maybe their interaction prior to the Black trailer. It'd be kind of cool just to see that, because I feel like we need to get all that anyway, and these trailers are canon. So it'd be kind of cool to put a little canon material before you actually get into the proper aspect of the show. More character development. Yeah, exactly. Hey, what's up, Fernando? How's it going, dude? Yeah. Salutations. But really quick though, thank you guys all for joining. I originally was gonna do this yesterday, but yesterday I completely forgot that there's 2 RT podcasts in the week now, one on Monday and one on Thursday. And it's Friday today, it's the weekend, so at the very least I feel like today is a better day for people to kind of have time off to be able to join me and, you know, and interact and engage for a live stream discussion. So we're about 20 minutes in, so without further ado, I set these up to where the images, I don't have a memory of what images I put in what place, so do bear that in mind with me when it comes to me kind of starting and stopping my conversations and my thoughts and whatnot. Oh, and another thing too, I will be putting on slow chat right now. Give me 1 second. I gotta put that in before I forget. Advanced settings. Alright, so slow mode chat has been activated. Alright, there we go. Slow-mo. No, not the slow-mo, guys. Are we going over to Twitch or staying here? No, we're staying here. Twitch is specifically for video game content, so when I'm not doing gaming content, my other streams will be focused here on YouTube. So, alright, so let us begin. So first and foremost, I made a joke about this on Twitter, and I don't know if people took it as me joking around or if people thought I was being serious, but I literally tweeted a screenshot of this image on Twitter the day the trailer came out with the comment, with the header, White Rose confirmed. And I literally just did that solely as a joke. Like, it's a trailer, it's a flashback. Weiss did not meet. Weiss and RWBY had no idea who each other were. They didn't know each other existed or whatever. And something as subtle like this, there's no way to infer, oh yeah, Rooster Teeth definitely is throwing in the ships there. But for some reason, people were like, I guess trying to confirm to me, like they were trying to let me know why this wasn't actually canon. And I'm like, it's a joke. I literally just put it out there as a joke. Like, literally, those are 2 roses covered in snow, so technically they're white roses. And I don't know, it kind of went over a lot of people's heads in the initial, during the you know, for the initial tweets. And then there were some people that were like, that feeling when you're joking but people don't realize it. I don't know, I saw that opportunity and I didn't realize it at RTX when I was watching this there, because I was at the RWBY panel and I did watch this initially, and it wasn't until it came out to the public that I was like, holy shit, White Rose. So too many people thought I was serious, and it kind of killed the joke for me, because I was like, oh my gosh, now I gotta go around explaining to people I'm joking. But yeah, it was a joke at the end of the day. And for me, of all people, I've already established and let people know and kind of solidified how I feel about ships. I don't care about them. I really don't care about, like, character A and character B being together. If it's in the show and if it comes out to be true, then that's great, but that's like the last thing I care about, if at all. So I just thought that it was kind of funny to kind of poke fun at the fact of, holy shit, look at that could be taken a certain way if you were a shipper. So I just thought it was kind of funny to put that in there. But I don't know if that's symbolic or anything in any way for Rooster Teeth or in any way for the sake of the trailer. But I thought it was a pretty cool like intro to the trailer as a whole. And obviously we're in the courtyard here. Really big courtyard. I wonder if this was like the quote-unquote garden area that Whitley mentioned, like the mother was drinking at. Granted, it's a courtyard and there's not a lot of like vegetation or flowers, you know, or anything like that. But I remember when I first watched this, when I first saw this, I was just I didn't realize she was at her house. I don't know why. Like, I think maybe it was the way that I was sitting too, because I was sitting at an angle that was like very much between, like I could have been looking at the left or right panel when I was watching, and I didn't have like the best arrangement like right in front of me to watch and see everything that was happening. So for some reason, it didn't dawn on me until after the fact, but I was like, wait, she was at a courtyard. She was like at her house. and it's just an extension of the Schnee Manor. Let's see. Yeah, the house is like ridiculously big. Like, even like you would think the inside was big. Like when we initially saw like Weiss walking through the entire house from her bedroom to her dad's office, like seeing all the rooms, all the hallways, going down the stairs. It felt more like a compound than a mansion or a manor, really. And the outside like just looked just as vast. And it's just like, what, there's like, what, 4 people that live here? Whitley, well, if you had the whole family, it would be Whitley, Winter, Weiss, Jacques, and the mother. So 5 people in this gigantic ass house. Granted, he has parties and stuff like that, so I'm pretty sure when it's not freezing cold in Atlas, which I feel like that never is the case, maybe he throws parties in the backyard or something like that, or in the courtyard or whatnot. But yeah, long story short, he's got a big house. And this shot was really great too. I love any shots that we get in RWBY that feature the moon, because the moon is, I feel, is like it's an enigmatic. It's just an enigmatic kind of presence. It's there. We don't know its full significance. We know it has significance based on, you know, past live streams and stuff like that. Carrie, Miles, Gray, they've mentioned before. Monty even has mentioned that, like, the moon doesn't look like that for show. There's a reason for it, and it kind of plays well with, like, the phases of the moon. So every so often you'll see the moon broken into different portions, or it'll look broken more in one image than it does in another. And technically, this being a past event, you can maybe think like the moon's constantly breaking over time. But I guess the aesthetic of it makes it kind of look cool in terms of phases of the moon. So I think that's kind of neat. But I don't know why every time I see the image of the moon, I don't know, it's just a beautiful shot, and it's usually done at night, similar to the red, not the red character short, the RWBY character short, the initial one for Volume 4, like, the moon shot that was taken there was really beautiful as well. So, I just always appreciate whenever the moon is featured in any screenshots or any type of scenery when it comes to the show. Let's see. This makes me want to see more of the house because of how big it is, but I'm more excited to see Mistral. Yeah, Mistral is, Mistral just looks gorgeous in of itself, like it was mentioned in the World of Remnant. Mistral is a lot of the advantages of Mistral are due to, like, the nature and the wildlife and just the overall aspect of people's respect for nature and how they kind of use that to their advantage as a society. And it looks a lot like, I think it's called Riverdale from Lord of the Rings. I initially thought it looked like Omashu. But then I watched, I think it was another person that was reacting to RWBY or something, and they mentioned Riverdale or something like that, or Rivendell. And it looks just like out of Lord of the Rings. And I think it's more associated with Lord of the Rings because I know Carrie's a big Lord of the Rings fan. And he directs the show. And he can easily have, like, that be an influence for the show itself, because Lord of the Rings is one of, like, the greatest of all time, like, series in terms of storytelling and whatnot, and world, you know, just the world in general. So, okay, Rivendell. Okay, there you go. I haven't seen Lord of the Rings yet, and I'm gonna get eaten alive for that, so I'm just gonna take my last final moments and thoughts to kind of wrap this video up. But no, I've never seen Lord of the Rings. I do plan on seeing it. It's something that I'm talking more and more about every day with my friends. But I didn't know about that Rivendell thing until I actually looked it up, and I was like, holy shit, that literally looks just like Omashu. Not Omashu, Jesus Christ, Mistral. I originally thought it looked like Omashu from The Last Airbender. So, yeah, yep, and here comes everybody in the chat. What? You've never seen Lord of the Rings? Yeah, I absolutely know it's a must. The only, like, movie thing that I'm caught up with currently is X-Men, and not including, like, the standalone Wolverine films. I literally just watched Apocalypse, like, 2 days ago. But, let's see. I thought you said Riverwood from Skyrim. Oh, no. I vaguely remember Skyrim. No, I haven't read Lord of the Rings. Read the books first. Oh, God, that's going to take so long for me. How could you, Arnold, unsubscribe? Well, you guys are going to learn a lot about me over the course of this video, that's for sure, then. I'm just gonna throw this out there too. I haven't seen Star Wars. All right, let's carry on here. So I'm gonna disappear for a second, really quick, to kind of show off this next sequence of images here. I really liked how they kind of revealed Weiss for this shot. I think the music was the biggest compliment for this character short overall. And I'm really grateful and thankful that Casey and Jeff are still continuing to do the RWBY music. I feel like at this point they are like an intricate part of the the integration when it comes to the music and the storytelling that's done through the lyrics of the soundtrack. And this is again it's just another chapter in Weiss's book, in Weiss's development, and I think. The biggest thing to take away here is the third shot, the bottom left shot, is that Weiss's hair, her ponytail is perfectly centered, perfectly straight. So I remember I mentioned this initially when the Volume 4 concepts were coming out, and that I felt like when she went back home, her hairstyle would have changed, because I feel this aspect of Weiss right here, like the straight ponytail, the straight form, like her headdress is on properly. She's got perfect posture. This is literally a product of Jacques Schnee pre-Volume 1. You know, this was like the bitchy Weiss that nobody liked at the beginning. She was very bitter and just very rude and bitter as a character. And I feel like this is ultimately a product of who she was before. And maybe her rebellion kind of initially started as she knew she was going to leave to go to Beacon. And the biggest form of that rebellion that's evident is the fact that her ponytail is usually off to the side after Volume 1. As of Volume 1 up until now, we've always seen her with her ponytail off to the side, which I guess is just a form of her rebellion. Because she's so elegant, because she's so proper, it's just like a subtle thing, like a subtle, hey, I'm doing things my way now because I'm not tethered back at home, or, you know, dad isn't kind of running my life anymore. So, and then the face reveal too was very big, because I didn't realize it. Again, like I said, I didn't realize a lot of things initially when I was at RTX, just based on where I was sitting, but she doesn't have a scar either. So this predates Weiss in terms of, this predates anything of Weiss thus far in the show, pre even White trailer, because she's actually at home. She's not fighting the armor gigas or anything. And I can't put my finger on it, right? I can't put my finger on it necessarily, because I know that there was a lot of talks when the White trailer came out, even after the White trailer came out, to this day actually, especially since this trailer came out, it kind of stirred the conversation back up, that some people are not convinced that Weiss got her scar from the armor gigas in her White trailer. Some people think she had it prior, some people think that she got it from the armor gigas, and the biggest thing is that, like, during the trailer itself, there are a few inconsistencies with Poser on whether or not, like, because one shot you see the scar, one shot you don't see the scar. You see it before you see it, you know, when she's at her concert. You don't see it at a point until after she gets hit by the armor gigas. So a lot of people are still kind of like, I don't know, like, a lot of people are not willing to believe that that's where she got her scar from. But the manga actually confirms it. I actually have it right here, and I'm gonna try to find the page for it. So this is the RWBY manga. It's not translated. It's in Japanese. I imported this. It was about $12 off of Amazon Japan, if any of you guys want to pick it up for yourselves. But in the manga, and there are some people even that have stated that, like, Monty at some point mentioned that she didn't get her scar from her trailer either. But there's no source for that. There's no video, there's no live stream, there's no tweet or anything, or forum or interview that I could find, at least, that sourced that. So let me find it really quick here. Alright, let's see. So this is the shot right here that shows her fighting the armored Gigas. This is the armored, this is actually a possessive Grim. Kind of like the, I guess you can say this is the Geist Grim, but it's controlling the armor. Similar to how it was controlling the rocks, and it's dubbed a Petra Gigas in Volume 4 because Petra means rock, means stone, I believe. Stone Giant, I believe that's what it's called. Or that's the translation. And this one would be Armored Giant. So, give me 1 second. Let me find this really quick. It's a pretty badass shot at the end, after everything, after all is said and done. But she does get hit. And, oh. Yeah, she gets hit right here. So this shot right here, I don't know if you guys can see it really well, but it's this shot and this shot right here. And it obviously shows right here before she gets hit that she doesn't have a scar. It's more prominent. I don't know. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. I haven't read this chapter in a while. Yeah, so I guess this is the only other thing that kind of infers it. And the RWBY manga is canon, so this is kind of like the last little mention of it. And it's right over the eye that she gets hit in. And I guess that's kind of like a reimagined version of the white trailer. So, shake my head, Reggie Gigas was the OG. Yeah, that's also done by Shiro Miwa, who does an amazing job on RWBY art, and he heads the he heads all the manga projects as well. Oh my god, to Amazon I go. Yeah, it's on Amazon Japan. It was only 12 bucks, including shipping too, actually, which was kind of crazy at the time. Yeah, I don't have a doubt that they, there's no doubts in my mind that they will indeed translate those, because Rooster Teeth has a partnership with Viz Media, and Viz Media is a anime manga distributor, and they also translate, they translate manga for, like, official series like Naruto and stuff like that for Shonen Jump. So, I'm pretty sure that they will in due time have something regarding translations and localizations for the manga for you know, people in the States. Alright, I'm forced to leave. It's 3 a.m. Wow, where is it? It's 3 a.m. where you live? That's crazy. But oh, you have to head out. Okay. Thank you, though. Thank you for sticking around. I do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed your stay for as long as you've been able to catch up on our discussion thus far, even though we've kind of barely hit, you know, barely scratched the surface of discussion. But yeah, so anyways, so yeah, I feel like this trailer in general just it's definitely been sparking a lot of discussion and debate on a few things in general. But I do like how it predates Volume 1, because it kind of gives a little bit more context to, like I said, everything regarding Weiss, her upbringings, what she's gone through to kind of essentially leave home. And this battle also, this battle is kind of like, or at least in this manga, because there are translated chapters online already, but this fight that she's doing with the armored knight, this is her test as to whether or not her father's gonna grant her access to go to Beacon. It's kind of shown throughout the chapter. Like, this is Watts' assistant. Not Watts' assistant, what am I saying? This is Jacques' assistant. This is one of the assistants in the Schnee Manor, and he's tasked with kind of letting Weiss go through this final trial, this final test. And if she conquers this test, this is what's going to allow her father to give her approval to go to Beacon and study there over Atlas. He wants, basically that's like a proving test, I guess, or a proving trial for her. which is, I guess in a way, it kind of ties into what she's doing in this trailer. She's training with Winter, and Winter even tells her, you're gonna have to get better if you ever want to leave. So maybe that was kind of like the very early testing phases or training phases for Weiss when it came to her training and fighting Grimm and stuff like that with her sister's help to eventually then deal with whatever trial her father had for her. So, I think all of that, I think all of that could be dubbed the royal test, like the whole thing of like her trial of being tested at home by her family to see if she's worthy to be able to do something a little bit different than the norm or what's expected of her. And obviously it's in the lyrics of all of her songs, like being a burden of a royal test. So I think I love how all of that kind of comes together. So this next shot here was pretty freaking cool. Again, it was lost on me because, okay, so the big reason why, like, you guys, for those of you who've seen my reaction, the big reason for me, at least, why I felt like, the big reason for me why I felt so shocked to see Winter at the very end was because, like, for me, I was like, my mind kind of convinced me of, like, the next time we see Winter, it will be in Mistral. That's the next time we'll see Winter. So, getting this, I didn't think, it didn't click in my head, like, when I was initially watching it. Like, I didn't realize those were summoned Grimm. They're white Grimm with blue eyes. That's kind of the shtick of summoning creatures, especially shown in Volume 3. And especially Volume 4, like, when Weiss summoned, like, when she summoned her armor knight, and when she summoned the Borbotusk. For some reason, I don't know if it was just time, I don't know if I forgot or whatever, but in my head, I like the concept of Weiss having anything to do, Winter having anything to do with this trailer was lost on me until she actually said Winter, and I was like, wait, what? Like, Winter? Like, where? So, I don't know why. It was, I guess in a way it kind of made for a better experience, but then after the fact I was like, how could I have been so naive? Like, how did I not realize that sooner? So yeah. Let's see. But I did like this shot. I think this shot's pretty cool because this shows, like, Winter's prowess, right? So, we've only seen Winter once, and we've seen her in Volume 3, the big, you know, the big shebang, the kind of, I would say, little skirmish she had between herself and Crow. And, I don't know if this is maybe, like, she's holding back, but this kind of shows a lot better control of her summoning, because in Volume 3, it's like, it seemed like she had to have that summoning in the ground to summon those initial birds, but here you see it's like a summoning dome, and anything within that is within the confines of her summoning reach, which I thought that was kind of cool. Again, like I said, it's basically Weiss's little summoning grounds. It's Winter's summoning grounds for Weiss to train. Alright, let's see. Let's see. Theoretically, couldn't Winter summon a small army of Grimm? She summoned Grimm after Grimm with no obvious wear on her. Huh. Oh no, the stream is dead. Ah! Hold on, is the stream dead? Oh, there is some issue going on here. Let's see. Stream died and came back. Uh-oh. Give me 1 second. It's showing green for me. Huh. Alright, it's back. Okay, had technical difficulties. It's good. A little bit of lag. Alrighty. Huh. Alrighty. I will be monitoring that a little bit better. It's lagging. Uh-oh. Oh no. What do I do? Huh. I was hoping this wouldn't happen. All good. Bleeping for a second. Really laggy. Just to skip. Your video is... Okay. Give me 1 second. hold on a second. Let me see what I can do here. Is it still happening? I'm lagging right now, super laggy now. Okay. Give me 1 second. I am going to end the stream and then I will start it back up again. A lot of people are saying, no, my computer isn't freezing. Video's lagging still. Huh. Save me, Arnold, the lag is scary. Alright, I'm gonna refresh. Actually, I do see on OBS here, there's a bit of a lag issue. I don't know why. But give me a second. I'm literally just gonna end and then immediately restart. So just refresh your stream, and it should be good after that. Alright, hopefully that fixed it. Alright, refresh. Lag, everyone's worst enemy. Yeah, I don't know why that happened, honestly. Let's see, no lag. Are we good? Alright, so there's gonna be a two-parter to this live stream then, I guess. I don't know why that happened. I think it was just OBS acting up, and the only way you can rectify the issue is if you disconnect and then reconnect back to OBS. So, oh, where's the soothing music? Oh yeah, that's right. I paused it really quick just so you guys didn't miss anything. Alright, I had a question. I had a comment here. Okay. Summoning is calling on fallen enemies. Winter summoned birds in her fight with Crow. Does that make her the true murder of birds? Ah, funny. Very clever there, Derek. In a way, I guess so. But, I wonder if she has, like, a grand summon. Like something that's kind of like the... You know, like, how do I put it, right? So, Weiss's summon, like, in my opinion, like, I feel like her true summon is her armored knight. And that's, like, the representation of her trials and, you know, her ordeals when it came to growing up and, you know, dealing with a lot of the struggles that she's had in her life. I wonder if Winter has an equivalent to that, you know, an equivalent summon, besides just summoning Grimm. Like a trump card summon. Similar, I feel like Weiss's trump card summon is her armored knight, but she is able to summon, you know, minor things like the Borbatusk and stuff like that. So, I'm just wondering if Winter has something like an equivalent, like a top tier summon. Let's see. The Elephant Grimm? I don't know. Honestly, I feel like the big thing for me is I wonder if she has a summon that isn't like a conventional Grimm. You know, Weiss's summon, though it is a Grimm, it's very unique. You know, from what we've seen, Winter has only summoned Baby Nevermores and Beowulfs, you know? So and those are very common Grimm. So I guess I'm wondering, maybe has she ever summoned anything, or has she killed anything that she's now able to summon that's a little bit more unique, you know, like a Knucklevi Grimm or like a Grim Dragon or something like that. Like something not something like top tier or something that's ridiculously OP, but like Weiss's, for example, is very unique. It seems very strong, but also not too OP for her. So, I'm just wondering if maybe that's the if she has anything similar to what Weiss has at least right now. Maybe the Grimm are specific to the girls, like Weiss had a hard time against the Knight. Maybe Winter had a Grimm specific to her weaknesses. Yeah. Winter, I can't deny and say, like, oh, Winter's probably never been as, what's the word I'm looking for? As insecure as Weiss has. That's clearly not true. Obviously, she's very capable now, but I feel like she was just like her sister, so maybe she does have something along the lines, a trial that she herself has also dealt with. Because I feel like the father would kind of put her on the same boat. Like, you want to leave, you got to prove to me that you can leave through a trial. And I feel like that's similar to maybe what Winter went through and got out a lot sooner, went and joined the military instead, versus what Weiss is going through right now. Let's see. Can you simply defeat someone to can you simply defeat someone to summon, or do you have to kill? Like, would it be possible for Winter to summon, say, no, I don't think you can summon a person. I mean, there's nothing that says you can't, but if we can kind of, if we could infer and fill in the blanks based on what we've seen so far, I'm pretty sure you can only summon that which doesn't have a soul, you know? Yeah, I'm willing to say that. I'm willing to say you can only summon that which doesn't have a soul, because that way you're not tampering with quote-unquote life. You know, the Grimm lack a soul, so in a way, it's not like you're tampering with the natural order of things. And that would also make it seem like, that would also make it to where, like, the Grimm can be tangible. You know, you can mess around with the Grimm and not have this, like, moral dilemma of, oh, you're dealing, you know, you're messing, you know, you're trying to play God and stuff like that. So, so no, I don't think you can summon people, if that's what you're trying to say. Let's see. Yeah, basically the FMA version of human transmutation. But anyways, so, oh, hold on a second. I reset OBS, so I have to go back the route here. Okay, so here we got to see the Grimm a little bit better. I really like the design here. I think these designs are a lot better even than the ones that they showed last year for the Volume 4 character short. The spikes, actually even better. Like this Grimm, this Beowulf looks a lot better in terms of its design than the Volume 3 one that they showed, that the one that Weiss, the one that Winter summoned in front of Weiss. But the overall design looks a lot better. I feel like if you were to paint this Grimm black and red, like a traditional Beowulf, the design would just shine a way better than the Grimms than the Beowulfs that we've seen in Volume 4 so far. And I feel like that's probably because Rooster Teeth has been able to tap into Maya, the Autodesk Maya program that they've been using for Volume 4, and they've had an entire year basically to learn how to use that software and, you know, really get their sea legs with how they can push the limits of what they've been able to do with RWBY thus far, with particle effects, with you know, a lot better textures, improved models for the characters and for the Grimm. I just think it all looks really gorgeous, and it still has the wandering eye effect. Granted, it's blue. I still love that feature. I'm glad they kept that in there, and you can see a little bit better of the Schnee Manor behind Weiss in the background there. A bunch of lights are on, so I would probably like to think that, like, Jacques doesn't give a damn about his, like, electric bill, just because he probably has it covered. But seriously, like, that's kind of ridiculous how many lights are on, how many windows there are, it's almost like the man's compensating for something. But no, I don't know. The manor's fucking massive for no goddamn reason. And it became a lot more apparent when there was that panning camera shot when it showed Weiss on the top there. Let's see. I think it would be cool to see the color scheme and design change for Grimm depending on what environments they're in. I wouldn't think that. I personally don't agree, only because I feel like the color scheme of all the Grimm are very it's very telling of them being like a universal threat versus these Grimm are this way, those Grimm are that way. I like the universal color scheme of the red, white, black, and yellow. Actually, yeah, red, white, black. The yellow is kind of more on the parts of the eyes, but the red, black, and white in terms of the skull, the bone structure, the black skin, the red eyes, and stuff like that. I really do like that. I like the foundation that they already have for the Grimm thus far. How would you gauge Weiss Winter's willpower? I don't know. She seems very she has the resolve. Like, we've seen that resolve, right? Like, we've seen her as a sister, we've seen her as a military official, and I feel like that, you know, obviously she's very caring of her family, she's very caring of her sister. In terms of her willpower, I don't know if we've seen enough of Winter, like solely Winter, maybe even her past, to see where she gets that strength from, or, you know, just the willpower aspect in general. She's clearly a righteous person. She clearly does the right, you know, she does things for the right reasons, for the benefit of everybody as a huntsman. Actually, I don't even think you'd classify her as a huntsman, because she's basically special ops. And I think I think you can still classify her as a huntress because she went to combat school and stuff like that. But I don't think, but maybe she's both. Maybe she's in a class all her own that's a little bit higher or a little bit more isolated. What do you think the limits are on the summonings? I don't know. I mean, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. Huh. Let's see. Oh yeah, Mirror is playing in the background of this too. I think that's kind of interesting. This shot was beautiful as well, and I mentioned this, I wrote this down on Notepad, and actually realized this a little bit after the fact, but I think every single trailer, so the red trailer, white trailer, black trailer, yellow trailer, the character short, the Volume 4 character short, quote-unquote, like RWBY's trailer, like Volume 4 character short, and Winter, and this character short, all of them have one common shot in common, I guess. It sounds kind of confusing. But, it's basically the shot with the Grimm jumping, the slow motion shot of the Grimm with the moon in the background. Every shot for those trailers that I just mentioned has a shot similar to that, except it's not a Grimm that's jumping in the background. It's that character. I saw that shot and my jaw dropped. I was like, oh my god. Like, it's not like the traditional shot, but it's a very classic shot that's brought up in the other trailers as well. Slow-mo Grimm. Yeah, the action moonshot. Yeah, basically. I couldn't believe that they actually did that. I don't know if that was intentional or if that's me just looking too much into it, but I thought that was really, really, really cool how it just, my brain triggered to that moment instantly. And also looking at Weiss here, like the model of her character just looks so detailed. And I saw a shot of this also. I don't know if I think it was on Twitter, but someone did like a side-by-side shot of what Weiss looked like in Volume 1 and what she looks like now. And it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous how far this show has improved in coming on 5 years now. Of like, she looks so beautiful. And the lighting does her justice. The music, obviously, the pose that she's in as well. It just, this is like years in the making of, you know, this is probably what Rooster Teeth wanted from the beginning, but they were like, we have to deal with what we have, but someday we will get there. And I'm just really happy. I'm just really glad that we're actually at that point now with Volume 5, and it looks absolutely beautiful. Can you show it? It's on Twitter. I didn't store the image, but basically it's just a shot that was taken between Volume 1 and then Volume 5, and they're just like, look at these two. Like, Volume 1 didn't even have lighting, right? So it's so crazy to see the drastic changes. I mean, even from Volume 3 to even from 4 to 5, the improvements are so much more apparent because now Rooster Teeth actually knows how to work around and how to, you know, bring the most out of the Maya program, which is great. RWBY is awesome. RWBY is absolutely amazing. And then right here too, like, no fucks given. She just goes right into it with the fencing right through the jaw. And I love how it just the Grim just disperses. And likely it would, because it's a summoning. If it was any other type of Grim, it would, like, obviously evaporate, which is kind of what the Grim do at this point. Let's see. Oh yeah, right here too, I took this shot as well, just like the facial features that she has. So I think ever since Volume 2, facial features have just been getting better and better. The one facial feature that was shown in here at the very end that I really loved and appreciated was when the Grim looked like they were about to, like, overpower Weiss, and she was, like, on the floor holding that one Grim away who was trying to, like, snap at her. And, like, the facial feature that, like, the facial expression that she gave off was just so... I was, like, scared for her, you know? And when I was watching it at Thing, again, like I said, I didn't correlate this with being a flashback, so I was like, summon, 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 please, please. And, you know, maybe that would have been kind of cool even to see maybe if she had the potential to summon this far back, but maybe she could only do it under emotional stress, which that would have been a perfect opportunity to kind of show that. But obviously she was a very different character back then. And maybe the attitude or the demeanor that she carried with herself during those early years is what was one of the things that was prohibiting her from summoning in the first place, you know? As Winter said, she's like, emotions can give you strength, but you must never let them overpower you. Weiss was all emotion in Volume 1. That's all she was. She was just rage, bitterness, anger, like, for no reason towards anybody for whatever reason. And I feel like maybe that was a big reason of why a lot of the issues and things weren't going her way back then, but more importantly, why she wasn't able to summon and until she really kind of, I don't know, believed in herself a bit more, I guess is the answer, I guess is what I'm trying to get around. Yeah, emotionally high-strung, there you go. Oh, I'll tell Brian all the time, Dom. Like, I absolutely love the work that they do. And like, their compositing team, they just make, like, once they get it, they're the ones that make it look, like, absolutely beautiful. And, the big thing, too, for me, this trailer was the VFX. The visual effects were probably my most favorite thing about this trailer, just because it's like, oh, like, I almost feel like it was like a tech demo in some regard, because like, to me, when I see stuff like this, I'm not just excited because I'm seeing it right here. I'm excited because I'm like, what are they gonna do with this feature? What are they gonna do with this, with this aspect of programming that is just gonna make the show look a billion times better, make scenes look way more dynamic and realistic from a storytelling perspective, obviously. But I loved it, like, especially being in the summoning dome, seeing all of the snow and flakes and stuff like that, like, twirling constantly, especially like in this shot right here. Hold on, let me pull this one back, like the bottom one right here with hold on a second. I'm gonna switch that up really quick. Like, not just the particles, like, dispersing from the Grim, but you have that going on, but then in the background you still have, like, the dome kind of constantly twisting with more summons coming in. I just really love how they worked that, and how well it's really portrayed and handled when it all comes together. It just looks beautiful. And again, I feel like I'm really excited for the potential of how these new particle effects and the new effects in general are going to make a lot of scenes a lot more enriching as the story and as the show progresses. So there's that. Really quick, I will say this though, and sound off if you agree. I'm not all that versed when it comes to fencing, when it comes to Weiss's fighting style or anything like that. I don't know what is expected when it comes to being a fencer. Like, obviously it's more of like posture and form and stabbing more than anything. But is Weiss supposed to be effective at slicing? Because it seems like she's like slicing left and right, and her rapier doesn't have her rapier doesn't have like bladed edges. So I was wondering that. I was like, is she supposed to be like slicing these Grimm's arms and head off like with ease with a rapier of all things? I get the fencing, you know, I get the stabbing motion, like that's obvious. That's like she's in rare form like when she fights like that. But I was just I don't know if it's me that's just misinformed with how that fighting style works. Weiss super stab me. Are you button mashing? Let's see. I don't know about that either. Yes, it does. Her sword has sharp edges along the pointy edge. She has developed a slice and stab. Okay. A rapier is sharp. I know it has like a sharp edge. Oh, they are sharp edges. Okay. Yeah, because doesn't her blade kind of like, it comes together at like 4 points. And I guess the ridges along all those points that meet at the center are all sharp. So that kind of, I guess that makes a bit more sense for me. To me, I was just like, isn't she supposed to be excelling a bit more when it comes to the stabbing department? But granted, these Grimm are flesh and bone, so it can still be effective, versus if she's fighting someone with armor, it'll probably make things a little bit more tougher, a la her white character trailer. They are bladed. Okay. Alright. It's basically a large edged needle. Pretty much. How long has this stream been going on for? The stream's been going on for about, hold on, let me see. It's been going on for about an hour. I did have to refresh the stream a little while ago. The first 20 minutes was just banter and chatting and just catching up and stuff like that. So yeah, I've only been chatting for an hour, but as you can tell from where we are in the trailer, we're still very early on in terms of overall talk and discussion. So what I really, here's the big thing for me as well, and I'm going to be talking about this as we progress through the discussion, right? So this is a very basic Weiss when it comes to when it comes to like a huntress in training. She does not do a lot of what she does now, and like even back then, obviously, because she's still a novice, she's learning, she's training with her sister. And this was probably like the very, like one of the first, if ever, attempts of her fighting. You know, she's not fighting actual Grimm, but she's fighting the next best thing, you know, summons of actual Grimm. But I noticed that she's only really utilizing her basic form of glyphs, which is like the push and pull, like the red and not the red ones, the white and black versions of her glyphs, and she's just using her rapier. There's very little dust manipulation. There's no time dilation. Obviously, there's no summoning. And I like how that's apparent in this trailer, because, again, this is a flashback. She's not supposed to be doing all the crazy shit that she's known for doing now. So I think that's a really great, obviously, attention to detail and follow-up for the fact that this is what Weiss was like long before we knew anything about her. Let's see. Very focused on fighting with a contained and trapping situation. Yes, exactly. Hold on, let me see if I can fix it. Oh, and then this was probably, so this was the most, in my opinion, I think this was the most beautiful shot in the entire trailer. When she like lands on like the fountain, and it like shows, it like pans up from her feet all the way up to her like holding her sword, like holding her rapier, and then she opens her eyes, and the coolest shot right here, I'm calling it. This was the coolest shot. Like, I I really wish I knew who it was who did this shot in particular. You are fucking incredible. I know it's a group effort and everything, but I can't help but be like in awe. I remember when I saw this at RTX, and I was just like, it took the crowd around me getting hyped for me to kind of like click back and be like, what the hell did I just witness, right? It was, and oh my god. Oh my god, this shot was so good. The big thing too, the top left side, what was really great about it is like how it kind of made it seem like it wasn't just like a basic dust summit, like a basic dust usage. Like she was conjuring the dust from within the blade, like working it from the base of the blade all the way up, and then she just, like she made a snapping motion and then like sent the flame wave out. And it just eviscerated all of those Grim, just completely vaporized all of them. And this is where, again, like I say, the particle effects came in really beautiful, the lighting as well. Just like how the lighting off of the fire from the blade is just shining off of her and then just going off. And it kind of disrupts the summoning dome too, because it like everything is just completely flattened and dispersed, and then everything comes back together. So I honestly, I do believe that is probably the best shot in the entire, at least my favorite amongst the entire trailer is that usage of dust there. And what's even cooler is that environments are being affected now. So this is, again, I feel like a product of Maya. I guess in a way it can be kind of seen as I don't know if this is particle effect or just VFX in general, but the ice and the snow on these pillars and pedestals and things like that are melting, and it's basically just the battle that's going on is affecting the terrain, and it's affecting everything that's going on around them, which is kind of cool. I wonder if they're gonna have stuff like that, like in volume. Like, so there's this one shot in Volume 3 that kind of, it bothers me a little bit, because I know that the environment is being affected, but it obviously can't be portrayed as such with everything that was happening, obviously, since they were using Poser as well. But it was, I think the shot with Cinder, Emerald, and Mercury versus Amber, when Cinder uses her 3 arrows, shoots all 3 of them in the ground, and a massive explosion happens. I would have loved so much and appreciated if there was just like a giant crater left over from the aftermath of that. But as crazy as and as intense and as dynamic as that fight was, you got wind going, you have lightning being shot everywhere, you have craters and explosions and fire and all that stuff. The battlefield wasn't scarred at all, and I feel like it was because of a lack of what Maya, of what Poser was able to do, as opposed to what Maya could have done if they were using that program during that time. So, and that's one thing that really, like, irks me about, like, epic, intense fights, is when, like, crazy shit's going on, but there's no resulting factors of all of that happening, aside from the characters being affected in the fights. So, I really hope that maybe this is a sign that things like that will happen, you know? Even Crow versus Winter, you know? I think, like, out of everything that happened in that fight, there was, like, that was, like, the closest thing to what I wanted, you know? Like, there was a light pole that was destroyed, and there was a somewhat formed crater in the middle of the courtyard after Winter and Crow's fight. And I was just like, and that was kind of like, it was a lot better. Like, I was like, okay, that's progress, you know? But I think, like, at least this showing environmental effect, the environment being affected by what's going on around it, especially with, you know, Huntresses and Huntsmen and Grimm and all that stuff. I just really hope that this is a sign of bigger and more grand things to come from those effects, to kind of make things feel a bit more immersed, you know, to kind of show the scale of all of these fights and how big and what's actually going on in the aftermath once everything is said and done. Yeah, like, I'd love, if there was a Spring Maiden fight, right, I would love to kind of get that validation for everything that I'm saying right now that I wish I had seen in terms of the terrain and in terms of the battleground and everything. I really hope that this is at least a sign of subtleties that are going to be brought to light a little bit more, for just that extra added effect, because it's the small details that go the furthest, in my opinion, especially when you're rewatching shows and stuff like that. And this was an effect that I didn't notice until I rewatched the trailer after it was already out to the public. I was like, holy shit, the snow and the ice is melting, and that wasn't shown before. Or it was shown before, but I didn't pick up on it previously. So yeah, exactly. Like RWBY, like the first episode, she sneezes and like blows a crater, air quotes there, a crater, and there's no crater whatsoever. I get that that's what they were going for, but because they like their vision, I guess at the end of the day, the tech that they were using was falling short of their vision of what they wanted for that scene, and a lot of scenes that followed with the show. And I really hope Maya is the answer to a lot of these technical criticisms that I have for it, because I really do feel like those very small and intricate moments are what will make a scene shine even brighter than just being bare, or just being bare minimum for the sake of what they can do for what they were able to do at the time. Yeah. Yeah, subtleties are always the best. Subtlety is the key. Nora said it best. Yeah. Let's see. I'm just looking through your comments right now. Can Schnees animate summon inanimate objects? I mean, we can't answer that, right? Like, I'm not a writer, so I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine for any questions like that. I doubt it as well. I feel like what's the point of that? What's the point of summoning something that's just gonna sit there? And the whole point of a summon is to bring forth something to fight for you, or to fight on your behalf. So, and I'm gonna go with no on that one. So, oh, okay, so here, let's talk about this as well, because I feel like this is where Weiss's downfall starts being apparent in this trailer, right? Hold on, let me see. Oh, you just joined? No, you're not that late. It's fine. But anyway, so after that epic dust fire blade attack that was so freaking cool, she just destroys 3 summoned Grimm. She's kind of celebrating a little bit too soon, right? And I don't know if this is just a subtle gesture, but she's smiling, she's looking at her weapon oh, look at what a good job I've done. And I don't know, I'm not going to call this hubris. It's clearly not, she's not she's not being all smug and whatnot. It's clear that obviously she's improved, or she's impressed with her performance. But I do feel like maybe this is a sign that, a sign of her naivete, if you will, or a sign of just her overall inexperience. Because she's celebrating, and then immediately, the second the Grimm starts showing up again, she's like, what the heck? I thought my job was done. And I'm really happy that Winter doesn't pull any punches in this fight, right? Winter is trying to push her sister to the absolute limits of, what can you do? You have to be at your best if you want me to help you, if you want to get out of here, if you want to, live the life you want, you need to fight for it. And I really love how Winter, she doesn't stop. You take out 3 Grimm, I'm gonna summon 4 more, and she's not letting Weiss get any type of rest or anything like that. So for me, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if this is a sense of naivety when it comes to Weiss, or if it's just a sense of a little bit of a pat on the back for her, or just overall inexperience. What I will say that I like, obviously, again, more facial features here, which I can always respect. Always love whenever facial features are further expressed here. Hold on, what did I... Okay, here we go. Alright, so this is the next set. I really want to make the bottom right image my screensaver for my computer. I just really like that shot. Like, she just comes straight down. Another thing too, the top left shot, and I went through this whole trailer grabbing all of these screenshots at half speed. So, actually not even half speed, a fourth speed. So 0.25% the speed that it would normally be at if you were watching it on YouTube, right? And I gasped for a second because, again, subtlety here. I don't think that you would have really, I don't think it's really that noticeable unless you're watching it at a much lower speed. But the top left shot of her holding Martin Astor with her left hand, it's tilted at an angle before it's brought to that stance. And when it's tilted, this part right here, this entire back bladed side glows. Like, it glows from the moonlight. But what I thought was happening when I saw it and I gasped and I like ran it back, it's actually the moonlight that's beaming down on the blade that's giving it that little extra, that little like, that white light shine. And what I thought was happening was I thought like the dust in the blade was like activating like it does in the White trailer. Like her last attack that she did in the White trailer, her whole blade just like glue up as in white, and that was the final strike that she did to the armor knight. I literally thought it was I literally thought it was that again, but it wasn't until I went back and relooked at it. And again, right back to this right here, like they're using the environment a lot better to kind of capture moments in a different, quote, no pun intended, but capturing moments in a different light. You know, the moonlight shining down on that it's a very good scene, it's a very good shot, and I wouldn't have picked up on it had I not been looking at it from a different perspective and a little bit more of a slowed down section. So, bowing to the moon to praising the sun. The moon is being held hostage. Oh, really? Winter Death Flag. So I will get to that because I do have my own little thoughts on what a lot of people are talking about in terms of winter and what they feel that line that she mentioned to Weiss at the end represents, or what it could infer for the future. But yeah, and Weiss is left-handed. Weiss is left-handed because Monty is left-handed. Monty actually tweeted that a few years ago, like when the show was obviously first being expressed and shown off. He mentioned, he's like, RWBY and Weiss are left-handed because he's left-handed. So I thought that was kind of cool, a cool way of him basically, like putting a part of himself in the designing or in the creation process of his characters, which is pretty cool. And it's just like it's a very easy thing to answer. It's like, why did you decide to make so-and-so left-handed? It's like, oh, simple, because I'm left-handed. So I thought that was pretty cool. But then also the top right side there, obviously using basic form of her basic glyphs that I mentioned earlier. It's just like, it's obvious for Weiss, right? Because she's not as experienced now as she was. She isn't experienced then as she is currently in the show. So like I mentioned, very basic form of dust manipulation. She only uses fire dust. She only uses fire dust once on top of that. And no time dilation like she used in volumes 2 and 3. Obviously no summoning, no multi-dust manipulation. So she has other forms of dust in the chamber of her weapon, but I don't know if she just chooses not to use it or what the case may be, or if at this point in the fight she was already kind of a little like knocked around by things and kind of overwhelmed towards the end. So maybe we didn't get to see everything that she's capable of right now, but it does seem like everything that's happening is based on a more inexperienced Weiss thus far. And then right here again, I'll go back to this. Okay, I need to talk about this. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to what I mentioned before when it came to Weiss and like her naivete or just her form of inexperience, right? So after she does that fire attack, she's like smiling upon herself, upon her weapon, like, oh, I did a good job. And to me, I don't know, like I said, I don't know if that's just her inexperience, if she's giving herself a pat on the back or whatever. I love that Winter isn't pulling any punches, but this right here, this kind of threw me off a little bit, because to me, I'm like, you're using, okay, so one of the big things that Monty always kind of in a way preached was like everything for the end result of these characters when it comes to combat and action, every motion needs to have a purpose. You can't just be doing something for the sake of doing it. And for that, I feel like now, like for a lot of the characters now, that's very much so. But for Weiss right here, I think this is very much, again, a sign of immaturity or a sign of hubris a little bit. Because she's doing a lot of these unnecessary movements. She's doing like, okay, I get, like, the first shot is understandable. Obviously, she's stabbing the Grim. That's very common, like, stance when it comes to, you know, fencing and things of that nature. So the stabbing motion is fine. The issue that I had with this was, like, she's doing, like, these slashing, twirly motions. And I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, in my head, I'm like, if you were in a legitimate fight for your life, you would not be doing that. And I feel like it's a bit of hubris. Maybe to her, it's like, maybe to her, it's kind of, maybe this is a little bit easy for her, or she can handle it. You know, the last shot was a little bit, it was a little bit over the top. Like, she's almost dancing as she's fighting, and in a way, I kind of feel like that's more of Penny's shtick, because like Monty, like the fact of Penny dancing is kind of an homage to Dead Fantasy. But like, she slices one arm off, she does a double twist, slices the other arm off, and then she does like a little silhouette, like kind of twirl, and then slices its head off. And I'm like, and then she sticks the landing and poses. I'm like, that's a little, that seems a bit hubris right there. I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's just inexperience. I don't know if it's just her maturity level at the time or at the moment. And she seems to just be having a good time right there. Like, she's smiling and everything. So, I don't know. I don't know if that was supposed to capitalize anything. Like, if that's supposed to make you... I don't know. Like, I really don't have an answer for that. It just seemed a little distracting in the grand scheme of, like, okay, this was supposed to be, like, a very serious fight, and then she's, like, skipping and twisting and twirling around while she's fighting these Grim. And in a way, I do feel like that tied in with, like, how she's, like, smiling at her weapon after she does that cool, neat attack. I feel like all of that is, in a way, it kind of just speaks to maybe why she did end up becoming overwhelmed, because she wasn't focusing and taking it very, very seriously. That's just me. I guess she's a performer and all that stuff, but there's a big difference there between being a performer and being a huntress, and she doesn't do that either. Like, even in the show now, like, she's never ever done that before, or at least shown that she's done that before. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's just speaking to her state of mind at the moment, or maybe, you know, this is a bit, maybe it's easy for her, right? Because right after that, she's just eviscerating all of these Grim, like jumping and flipping and bouncing and, you know, using her summon. Not her summon, using her glyphs. And it just does seem very easy for her at the end of the day. Dancing style never wins at anything unless you're against scrubs. Yeah, she is, like, and that's the thing too, like, it's a very graceful and elegant form of fighting, but it seems a little too graceful. Like, okay, speaking objectively, those twists and twirls don't do anything to the situation of killing those Grim. Like, you don't have to spin twice to slice that Grim's head off. You don't have to spin 3 times to slice its other arm off. Just do it and move on. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, those movements didn't serve any purpose other than to, like, look flashy, I guess. And I guess now, because I know what kind of character Weiss is and how she fights now, I feel like maybe that's why I'm a little bit more critical on that scene in particular. And maybe that's what Rooster Teeth was going for. Maybe that's, and if that's what they were going for, then kudos to them, because that, again, shows further development of, like, it's not a game for Weiss, right? And she didn't do that in her character trailer. Like, she didn't do that in the White trailer. And this is before that. So between that character trailer, the White trailer, and this trailer, or this flashback, clearly she's shaped up a bit. And I really, like, because clearly she's not going to be wanting to dance around when it comes to fighting a giant suit of armor. So, so yeah, I'm willing to chalk that up to a bit of immaturity, a bit of hubris, but mainly just inexperience at the end of the day. And, you know, just running with whatever she felt necessary with this training matchup that she was going through. Oh no, it's kind of weird and unnecessary, those moves. And it's kind of weird and not needed, those moves, but she's got the grace, and I feel like those moves used to be like ballerina or ballet, ballroom dancing. Yeah, like I said, I do feel like the elegance of what she was doing is very Weiss, but it's not something that you do in a training matchup, like something like this. And especially at the very end, she's like, I know I'll get better. It's like, well, you were doing a lot of shit that you didn't need to really be doing, you know? And you're just wasting energy at that point. Like, everything was towards this common goal, this common motive of fight these Grimm, kill my summons, prove to me that you are worthy of being able to handle, you know, the life of a huntress, you know, with these sparring sessions. And then she falls short. And, you know, you have to look at the whole. You have to look at not just, oh yeah, you took out those Grimm with that fire attack, that was neat. Oh, you were shredding these Grimm at this moment, but I did notice a few times here and there you spinning and twirling and, you know, kind of patting yourself on the back in the middle of a training match, right? And Winter is very harsh on her sister, like, especially in the tournament. She's like, she's counting all of the strikes her sister missed and stuff like that. And I don't know. I feel like, again, it's just the inexperience of Weiss at this point. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. If anything, this adds to the character of Weiss thus far. I just am calling it like it is. Like, this, you shouldn't be doing that. But it's clear why she is doing that, at least to me. Yeah, or a sprained ankle. Yeah, pretty much. She can be getting a sprained ankle or something along the lines. It could help with her momentum. It can help with momentum. I could see that. Because she was in constant movement when she was doing that. Like, slice, and then transition to the spin, and then head slice. So, yeah, I could see that. I'm still one of two minds about that, though. I don't know. I could see it being that. I didn't think about that prior. I can see the momentum of those swings playing, you know, being played into, like, the whole dancing motion, and again, her being very elegant and, you know, ballroom-esque with, like, her upbringing and stuff like that. I can see how that would play into her fighting style. So yeah, actually, that could be that could be what they were going for as well. Huh. I didn't even think about that. Why didn't I think about that? Yeah. The posing, though. Yeah, oh my gosh. I'm, like, torn on, like, was it, like, because I don't know, right? Like, I'm not, like, if Miles and Carrie were able to be like, oh, we did that because, you know, it just shows that she's a little, you know, she's getting a little bit ahead of herself, then that'd be great if they were able to clarify what exactly is going on during that scene. But even still, like, the pose at the end, you know, like, at the very, it's like, okay, but then why are you doing that, you know? I don't know. It seems very, it doesn't seem effective. None of it seems efficient. And that's, like, the thing I was trying to get at initially, and then I just kind of went down the rabbit hole of my own thoughts. But no, like, it doesn't seem as efficient as what the Weiss now would do, right? There's a million ways to conserve momentum. There's a bunch of different ways that you can conserve that, or just, you know, switch up your tactics, switch up your style a little bit. Don't just go straight slicing, especially since you just, like, freaking chopped the hell, she stabbed the hell out of that one Grim, so it's kind of like, I don't know, there's a lot of different ways to go about it. It seems very flashy, it seems too flashy for me to kind of chalk it up to, hey, it's flashy, but it still got the job done. Because at the end of the day, it's about effectiveness, and it's about efficiency, and, let's see, I'm looking through some of these comments here. I'm just impressed she can dance in heels on ice, but can we get a serious discussion about how she fights in those? Yeah, Ruby's asking, Ruby had the same idea too. Still too much unneeded movement for momentum conversion. Yeah. I'm honestly just willing to say that. You don't need that as much grace with it. Yeah, exactly. Unneeded movement makes the choreography cool. But this isn't a rule of cool, though. This is a matter of, like, objectivism. Like, we're looking objectively at this fight. Like, could she have saved more energy? Could she have conserved a bit more and gotten a bit further in her training if she wasn't wasting time doing all of that other stuff, right? I do feel like that could be it. And, like, mid-fight, like, I feel like nothing was really happening, and she was already, like, worn out. She was already, like holding her head in what seemed like exhaustion, and then the Grim just overwhelmed her. So, it's very up in the air at the moment. What I will say that I loved and appreciated was that she uses her glyphs, like, for speed. So, in a way, actually, in a way, I'm willing to take back what I said earlier about the whole, like, yeah, maybe it could be for momentum, because she could use her glyphs for momentum, but she didn't, right? Like, right here, you see at the top screen here, I'm like getting ahead of myself. The top screenshot shows her feet placed, and it shows the two glyphs on the ground. She's used that technique multiple times, and the most notable, she used it up on the walls for, like, when Ruby went and chopped the Nevermore's head off, and then again when she was reaching the top of Beacon Tower to try to stop Cinder and save Pyrrha. But for this one, she just used it to just quickly just skim right across the courtyard and stab this Grim, which perfect form the whole way through, which I really, really liked that. So, and also we've seen her use her glyphs again in the fight with, well, she used the black ones in her fight with, Neon Cat and Flint Cole, when it came to, like, when he was using his trumpet, like, the air compression, like, to kind of push them away. She used it to kind of hold her ground and to contract, like, to pull her towards the ground. So, I really did I liked this one. I liked this shot a lot better. This kind of showed how she needs to be thinking in these fights, like thinking about conservation, thinking about her form, and everything else, and not having all of this needless movement for no reason. Give her credit; she's so agile. She's even as a developed fighter, even then. Exactly, yeah, and that's the thing too. I'm not trying to beat up on Weiss because she did this one thing that I feel like she shouldn't have done. I feel like it's moments like that that are developing the character of who she is now, and being like, wow, I can't believe I did that back then, and she does, you know, a bunch of different things now. But I'm really surprised that I feel like she's maybe a bit more combat effective than someone like RWBY at this age, right? Or even Yang at this age. Then again, I don't know their combat in terms of their you know, in terms of the upbringings of how they were brought up into combat, into training and stuff like that at school. Obviously, Weiss has a lot more formal training than anybody on the team, or maybe even in the show in terms of her classmates. But I do appreciate how she was able to really hold her own, especially since I don't think she's ever fought an actual Grim before. Maybe this is like the closest form of combat that she's ever been in, and her sister is doing the best she can with what she has, you know? Obviously, her sister isn't gonna pull out, you know, like a top tier summon for her to deal with. But I still appreciate the fact that, like even at this age, you know, pre-Volume 1, pre-White trailer, she's still able to hold her own as well as she did. Yo, chill. Tai Yang kept his girls taut. This is a focused attack. No mess, clean and effective. Exactly. It's just clean through and through. Like, the stance is posed. Like, the glyph kind of carries all of that energy, and the final strike is delivered at the very end. Very clean, effective. Like, nothing unnecessary. And I feel, again, it goes back to, like, I know how Weiss is. So to see her sloppy and mess up at times, it's almost like a sibling thing, like Winter, right? She'll get on Weiss, be like, oh, I counted 3 strikes missed, because she knows her sister's capable of, you know, not being perfect, but capable of better, you know, doing better, and she's capable of getting better, and clearly by now she is. It's just a matter of, like, that tough love that you have to give to that character in order, because you know what they're capable of, and I know what Weiss is capable of, right? So when I see stuff like that, I'm like, why are you doing that? Don't do that. Like, that's just a waste of time. So yeah, at least that's how I'm rationalizing my criticisms with these decisions that she's going with, these decisions that she's doing and going with. In this fight that's supposed to be taken seriously. Alrighty. So, yep, and then right here too, clean, just throws Martin-Aster across the way, which, actually, I wouldn't say that it's a good thing that she got her weapon back, because had she just thrown the weapon, I'm like, what are you going to do if there's a Grimm right in front of you? You can't summon. You're very limited in what your capabilities are. But I thought this was really well done. Throwing Martin-Aster and then following up with this, like, ice, like, it was almost like a glacial... I just feel bad for these Grimm, right? These Grimm just got absolutely destroyed by this attack. And I will say, though, I guess this is a bit of dust manipulation, because it's like she doesn't just get ice out of nowhere, right? So there is a bit of dust manipulation here as well. And I really like how Weiss went about it, because this is kind of Weiss's signature move, right? So RWBY, I don't think RWBY or Blake really have a signature move. Yang's would be like the Dempsey roll. I feel like that's her signature move. And I would say this is Weiss's signature move, where she'll grab Martin-Aster, she'll usually do 1 or 2 spins, and then she'll pierce it into the ground, and an attack will come from that. Volume 1, she did that. It was like an ice wave, like an ice dust ice wave that froze the armored knight in place. She did it in Volume 2. In the food fight, actually. So she did that in the food fight with the ketchup that created the ketchup wave that Lyren slipped through, and she also did it at the end of Volume 2 when the train was reaching the end of the path before it crashed into Vale. She created like this ice prison to protect Team RWBY as they were right in front of they were on the head of the train. So she did that there as well. So I think this is maybe like her signature attack. And this one, it just like blossomed into like a glacial flower that just pierced everything around it, which was super cool. But the form that she used and the technique that she used to do that was very reminiscent of those previously mentioned attacks that she's done throughout the series. Let's see. Dempsey roll, is that what that's called? Yeah, like the actual, like, whenever Yang just kind of like wails in on someone, that technique in boxing is called a Dempsey roll. If you've ever watched Hajime no Ippo, it's a boxing anime. That's like the main character, Ippo. That's his like signature technique. And you basically just overwhelm your opponent with an onslaught of just freaking sluggers the entire time. But yeah, that attack is called a Dempsey roll. the official technique name. I don't know if Yang has her own personal name for it, but yeah, that's what it's called. Ketchup dust. But yeah. Hey Murder, what flaws or problems do you see with the Schnee semblance, and what do you think could help out with that problem later on? Honestly, the Schnee semblance is very, very, very versatile, and it just has a lot. There's a lot of things you can use to answer for any confrontation. You have, so the semblance itself, like the basic form, I think, is just the push and pull. Like the fact that you can push it has the force of push and well, the force of push, Jesus, I sound like Gavin right now. Like you can pull things towards you, or you can push things away. It has a summoning feature, so you can it has the fact you can summon with the glyphs. You can summon like any supposedly any Grims that you've defeated in your past. You can summon to your side. Time dilation, that's probably the most overpowered of all of them, because you can speed up, I don't know about slowing down, but you can basically speed up the reaction time of anybody around you. And you can do it on yourself, or it's basically like a utility spell where you can use it on yourself or a teammate. So that right there, and we don't even know if that's the full extent of the glyph semblance. So personally, I don't think there's any issues with the summon at all. If anything, and it's hereditary as well. So there's the only way you're getting that summon, the only way you're getting that semblance is if you inherit it through your genes, obviously. But it's the force of push. Put that on a t-shirt, I'd buy it, dude. That's literally, I think, what Gavin said when they were talking about I forgot what the topic was, but he basically said the force of push, and I just fucking said that. Force push and Gavin. But yeah, I honestly, personally, I don't think that there are any faults to the summon, or not the summon, the semblance of the Schnees. Clearly, the only difference is, I would say scale, like what one person's able to do as opposed to another. But that just comes with time and experience and training, right? Like Weiss doesn't know how to do any of the stuff that I just mentioned, but as of Volume 4, she can summon, she does time dilation, she's more effective with her glyphs, and dust manipulation with her summon, with her weapon as well, that she can like conjure up different forms of attacks with said dust manipulation with her weapon. So I really don't think that there's any, at least any immediate, because it's a lot easier to kind of pinpoint anybody else's semblance. Like Yang's is a temper tantrum, so you got to keep your emotions in check if you're going to want to use your semblance, and you're not going to want to abuse it so much like you've done in the past. RWBY's is just very typical, very basic, just speed. You know, get from point A to point B a little bit faster, and obviously her speed can be used with, you know, shifting her momentum when it comes to using her weapon. But I don't think that there is a more, I don't think there's a more well-rounded or just overall versatile semblance that we know of in the world of Remnant than the Schnee semblance. That one's got you covered for a multitude of different encounters. Gavin Logic, can you push the taste of sound? Oh god. Is throwing the sword a necessary move? Was throwing the sword a necessary move? I wouldn't say it was necessary because she leaves herself defenseless, which I will get to that in a second. And again, that could be due to summon specific is hereditary, but summoning is tethered to, it's almost implied that summoning is tethered to the semblance itself. So I wonder if that is the case, because all of the techniques that she's been able to do with her glyphs seem to come from her semblance. Again, you gotta stop, then during the focus when casting. Like stopping a spell in a JRPG. Exactly. Let's see. So far, Glyph is the best semblance, no question. Yeah, exactly. That's what I've been saying. I just rambled to the point where it's kind of drilled into everybody's head. Let's see. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say the Schnee semblance is hereditary because an ancestor of hers combined themselves with ice dust. Well, the semblance itself doesn't conjure anything pertaining to ice. That's just the theme of the Schnees. And, you know, they're from Atlas, which is predominantly snow-based. And, no, I don't know. I mean, we can't say for sure. Hereditary just comes down to genetics. Like, you have this semblance, and it's basically, like, tied to you. Or, maybe, the reason why it's, like, 100% hereditary is because the ancestors of the Schnees, both of them had this unique... Well, that's weird, too, because every semblance is supposed to be unique. Unless semblances work hereditarily, like a glyph. Like, when it comes to the genetic makeup of, like, an offspring, the glyph semblance is the dominant trait, and then someone else's, I don't know, the semblance to here really far away, maybe that's recessive in terms of gene traits. And so one semblance will engulf the other, and that's what the offspring will get. And then it got to the point now to where their summon is hereditary, so I don't know how that's possible now. At some point, there had to have been the factor of, like, the semblance just became 100% no matter what. Like, there was no recessive gene after years and years. And I don't know if that has to do with incest. I don't know if that has to do with just two people having the same semblance. And that's very, very, very unlikely, because even the World of Remnant on semblances and aura mention that every person's semblance is completely unique. So I'm not entirely sure how that's possible. Someone says either incest or dark magic. Hey, in early like civilizations and tradition, like, that's just how things were. Like, that's just how things were. At least with, like, distant cousins. So at that point, nothing happens in terms of immediate family member or, like, first removed, in terms of, like, the offspring, like, there being no deficiencies and things like that. Or it's a mutation, you know, or it's just a mutation to where, the semblance could just be like a rare trait that's just like, you get this semblance, and you get this semblance, and you get this semblance, and everybody in the family tree gets this semblance. Which that must then mean that Mama Schnee is the heir, not the heir, is the link to that chain in why Winter and Weiss have that glyph. Have the glyph as a semblance. I don't know about Whitley. I don't know if Whitley just isn't a fighter. You know, maybe obviously he's a Schnee by blood, but Jacques married into the family, so Jacques isn't a real Schnee. He's I guess he's a sit-in for the seat of power for the house. And the mother, I wonder if the mother can summon. I wonder now, because she has the semblance. Because her kids have it. And Jacques doesn't have it because Jacques not by blood. So, I'm wondering. Am I seeing 3-4 hours? Don't disappoint, Arnold. Hey, we're about 2 hours in. We're getting into the 2-hour territory. Calm down. But anyways, long story short, I feel like I don't even know where we went down this rabbit hole of the summons and the lineage of hereditary summon, hereditary and all that stuff. Let's see. Wait, I have an idea. What if the semblance passes down if a parent has never had a semblance to begin with? Huh. Oh, MurderofBirds with the hardcore genetics. You know what you do? You just pull out the good old Punnett square. And, like, that's what, is that 6th grade? When did I learn the Punnett? Yeah, I learned the Punnett square in 6th grade. So, yeah, you just pull out the old Punnett square. You got a semblance. You put that semblance information with that one. If you do, you don't. You cross them all together, and then there you go. You got the probability that your kid will have semblance or not. How late is it for you, Arnold? It's only 9 p.m. where I'm from. Genetics are fascinating. No science, please. Alright, let's move on then. Alright, so from here... So this was interesting. This was kind of odd, too. It seemed like Winter kind of... like... played a part in the fight herself, right? Because there's no summons around. Weiss defeated everything that was around her, and then you got like this like ice wave just coming in and crashing the party, like just attacking Weiss out of nowhere, like catching her off guard. And I think again, I'm really glad that Winter isn't pulling any punches, but at the same time, this was the straw that broke the camel's back in terms of the momentum that Weiss was building in this fight. And maybe it could have set her back. Maybe it was necessary. But I think this was an attack from Winter herself. Because clearly it's not a summon. And it comes in threes, like 1, 2, knocks her weapon out of her hand and everything. And then at that point, like right here, knocks the weapon out of her hand. To the point where I don't know if she got a concussion from that attack either. But she's like holding her head. And she's just like, what the hell? And this is where things start going downhill, right? And this is where someone in the chat mentioned a little while ago. They asked if it was wise for her, or if it was necessary for Weiss to throw her blade at the they asked if it was wise for her to throw her blade at the at that Grim. And initially I was like, yeah, I'll give that one the pass, because she threw it, she caught it after the Grim died, and she slammed it in the floor, killed all the Grim around her. But I will retract that and say I don't think it was wise, because she's in the same predicament right now that RWBY is always in whenever she's without Crescent Rose. She's useless. She has nothing to, like, her weapon's gone, she's got nothing to defend herself. And this is pre-Volume 1 Weiss, so you got no weapon, so you can't defend yourself with attacks and stabs and slices. You don't have your dust that's in your weapon, so you can't conjure any ice or fire attacks. You don't know how to summon. You don't know time dilation. I mean, I guess your summon can kind of help you, but maybe those hits kind of depleted your aura. I don't know if she's managed like aura conservation at all, you know, in this whole fiasco, or throughout the entire time leading up to now. But at this point, it's kind of unfortunate that the towel's already thrown in for her, mainly because she has nothing to defend herself with. And again, I will go as far as to say I appreciate Winter doing that, because I feel like, again, there were those few times in the fight where I felt maybe her hubris is getting in the way, or she's just a little too inexperienced. She doesn't have the full capabilities of, like, this isn't a game. Like, yeah, you're good at this, but you can always be better. You have to constantly be learning. For all of the wasted energy that she used in this fight, or all the wasted movements and all the wasted, like, kind of efforts that she did that weren't really needed. And maybe that was Winter's way of saying, hey, you think you're good right now, let me, you know, interfere in this fight, catch you off guard, right? And I'm glad Winter did that, because it's all about, like, she was getting a bit too comfortable. So she caught her off guard. She got her at the time she was least expecting it. And at that point, it's like, you're not ready yet. And I feel like that was like the final blow, like, you're not ready. You know, so as the fight plays out, I really liked the shot of this Grimm right here. This was the Grimm that kind of made its advances and like caught her off guard, and really appreciate this the facial expression right here from Weiss. Really appreciate that. Honestly, I appreciate it a lot, because when I was at the RTX, when I was actually at the panel and I was watching this, I was saying to myself, I felt like her facial expression was the embodiment of how I was feeling, right? I was just frozen, just looking up. I was like, please summon, please summon, please summon, please summon. Because it's like, if you don't do something, something's going to happen. And again, my brain didn't realize she was training with Winter, so I thought this was like legit. I thought like, I was like, all bets are off if something happens to you right here. So, I've always appreciated how far Rooster Teeth and the show has gotten, especially when it comes to invoking emotions without necessarily saying anything, right? Especially Volume 4. I think the best aspect of Volume 4 when it comes to that is Blake. Like, Blake's ears do a lot of the talking for her. When, you know, she's expressing herself, or when she has a facial feature, her ears emote along with her face. And when she's not doing that, you still know how she's feeling based on, like, is her ears perked up? Are they down? Are they, like, furrowed and outward? So I really like, and then, like, right here, this kind of really just captures, like, Weiss's, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, the desperation. Like, her desperation in this moment. It's like, what do you do now? Like, you're all out of options. So, unhand me, you oversized popsicle. Okay. Let me talk about this really quick. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I need to find a screenshot that I didn't feature in this video yet. Let me see. I need to find it. I don't even know. I don't know. I might not have included it. Okay, it's not that one. Let's see, not that one. Okay, this one right here. Okay. Number 59. Alright, so now I gotta come back to OBS. Give me 1 second, guys. Ah! Alright, number 59. I just pulled up a lot of pop-ups for my, my folder. Let me... Hold on, how far off am I? Alright, 53. Alright, so I need to put in 59. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to include a shot that I didn't put in here, because it's gonna go in tandem with this shot right here, because I need to ask you guys, because this really bugged me out, and it's been bothering me. Okay, 63. And I gotta go back to my desktop. Weiss folder. Uh-oh. Wait, where is it? Alright, I think it's this one. Yes! Oh my god, this freaking annoyed the hell out of me. Alright, so this shot right here. Alright. Do me a favor, will you? Look at Weiss's hand. Alright. Hold on a second. This really bothered me. Like, and it's still bothering me to this day. Hold on a second. I swear, even as a short, I like 9. I have like 90. I have like 75 images saved from this. All right, so Weiss is lying on her back, holding this Grimm off. Right? She's got one hand clenched, and she's got the other arm like this. How the fuck is her hand placed like that, and it's not like snapping her wrist? That's her thumb, right? Is that her thumb? Right there at the very edge? I don't know if you guys can see the cursor, my cursor, on the second hand here. But that's like really bothering me. At first I thought it was her like with like her the top of her hand like on the Grimm as it's like trying to get her, and it's like this. But then I looked at it in like from multiple shots, and I'm like, is that her pinky? Because then if that's her pinky, but her hand's upright, so she would have to be like that. I don't know. It's so fucking weird based on how she's, like, where she's positioned on the floor right now. That's her pinky, right? Which means her thumb would be on the opposite. So how the hell would that look? I'm literally just trying to replicate that. And that's her right hand, too. Weiss is flexible. Twist your hand so your thumb comes to you. So she's like holding it like this. That's still, I'd still feel like that's a, I just don't know if that's like physically possible. Like that's what I'm getting at. I don't think it's physically possible for her to be doing what she's doing right now. That just really bothered me. I was just like, I was literally looking at it for a while. I'm like, what the hell? Like, what is this? Is this some type of like dark magic going on? Like the top one looks like a thumb, but wait. I don't know. I don't know. She has 2 left hands. Oh, man. The top shot, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you see... That has to be her thumb, then. How the fuck are you doing that, Weiss? Is she holding it like this? While it's coming at her, you're holding it like this? And your other arm... I can't even do that. Like, I feel like I just, like, pulled something in my hand. Ugh. Yeah, I can't do that. I don't know how you do it, Weiss. Chalk it up to being flexible or something. Yeah, I literally thought I was just gonna break my hand right there just trying to replicate that. Twist your hand the other way? Like that? Or like that? Oh, like that? Still! That's so uncomfortable because then I can't move this. And she's holding this Grimm's head away from her, so it's applying pressure. Like, that's just... I don't think that's possible. Because I feel like I just got, like, a freaking cramp in my arm right here. Oh, man, dude. It's physically possible? Is it? I must be stupid, then. I don't know how that can be done. Alrighty. Yeah, I'm just stupid. Let's just chalk it up to that. But I don't know. I looked at that and I was just like... I'm like, how is that possible? Unless that's her... If that's her pinky, that's impossible. And if it's her thumb, it's just really, really, really weird and out of place. I don't know. Yeah, you're doing it? Alright, as long as you guys are able to do it. And I challenge any of you guys on YouTube, if you're watching this after the fact... to check this out and try to do it yourself. And just don't break your arm like I almost did. Alrighty. Anyways, okay, that image is done. I don't need you anymore. Thank you very much for serving your purpose. Back to this. Yeah, so this whole thing was pretty awesome. Oh, also, can we talk about the song really quick? I can't believe I brushed over that whole thing. And this was basically where the song ends. So the song is called The Path of Isolation. Some people are already making the joke, The Path of Weissolation. Haha, very funny. No. But no, a lot of people have been making the, it's basically, I guess Jeff Williams announced the official song title, which is The Path of Isolation. Quote unquote, not quote unquote, but in parentheses, Mirror Mirror 0.5. So this is basically a Mirror Mirror prologue, prologue, I'm sorry, or prelude to Mirror Mirror. I guess it would be a prelude to the original Mirror Mirror. And it's a very, very, very deep song that really goes into, like, this is Weiss before anything. Like, how she always talked about how people only cared about the perks of her last name, and everybody was a liar and a pretender, basically trying to like win her over or gain her trust, but at the end of the day, they were just that, liars and pretenders. It's a very depressing song when you think about it. It very much shows where the internal conflict rises with Weiss. What I'm curious about is the first line that's sung, which is, it starts with the unexpected loss of something dear, right? Which implies that, I guess, Weiss had lost something in her life, or someone in her life, that kind of cascaded this inevitable downward spiral that is her isolated lifestyle, you know? In my opinion, it might have been Winter leaving. I think maybe, you know, because when you think about it, Whitley never liked Winter. Whitley never really liked Weiss either. And then you got Weiss, whose mother seems to be out of the picture, and her father, who kind of sees her as like this tool for his affairs and for his use. So at the end of the day, if she doesn't have her sister, she has nobody. Or maybe it could even be like, maybe she lost her mom in a sense of like, her mother isn't the person that she used to be. Either way, she clearly lost something that caused her to basically shut herself in and keep everybody out. And that's a very tragic, it's a very tragic story of Weiss. You know, Weiss has a very tragic story. Granted, you know, she has all of her family her family members, and, you know, it's just a different kind of tragic. It's tragic in the sense of, like, she has a life that no kid should ever have, you know? She in a way, she was robbed of a life that she deserved. Because she's in the perfect situation, you know? Wealthy, respected, renowned, you know, can have anything she wants, and yet she was robbed of the quote-unquote perfect life. Really, like, when you think about it. So, and it seems like along the way from the lyrics, it seems along the way she kind of lost herself. You know, the lyrics also refer to her basically replacing everything with bitterness and anger, and, you know, in a way, at first I kind of thought of it like, oh, maybe she's kind of bitchy because that's how Winter came off. You know, when Winter was first introduced in Volume 3, I did not like her at all. And I was like, huh, that kind of explains why Weiss was the way she was. Maybe she takes after her older sister. But no, it was very much like a different set of... It was just a different set of circumstances that led Weiss to kind of give off this very harsh and bitter persona, initially at least. But yeah, I'm just always curious because I don't know, like, we don't know enough about, like, for as much as we get about Weiss every year, whether it's from the soundtrack, whether it's from the show itself, there's still a lot of unanswered questions. And the big piece of the puzzle is her mom. I think that's, like, once we get Mama Schnee or Mrs. Schnee, I think at that point we'll find out a lot of, like Weiss's past, and maybe even Winter's past, because Winter, besides Weiss, there's nothing left back at home for Winter. And the mother's situation, we don't know anything about it to even infer their relationship or her status as a whole, because I was under the impression, that's why people were actually confused. They were like, why is MurderofBirds going crazy about, like, you know, thing having a mother and a brother? It's because we've never heard of that. We've never heard her ever utter anything about having a brother. and the mother, it's always been the father that's been a point of conversation or mention. We've never heard the mother, so I was always under the impression that the mother was just dead or died or something like that, and the father was left to take care of the family business and the family name and the kids and everything, and maybe that's why he's such an asshole, because he's, you know, he's misguided with everything and the stress and the pressure of being in that position. But I just thought she was dead because we never heard about her. We've never gotten anything, like anything, right? And Whitley was a surprise too, because it's like, okay, I know she has a sister or a sibling, and then Volume 3 confirmed that it was a sister, but we never got any we've never got any type of reference that she had multiple siblings, a brother at that. So, and then obviously Whitley is a real piece of shit, so at the end of the day, it's like, well, I guess that's why we never really kind of got that she had a brother. It was, you know, maybe she didn't want to have a brother, or maybe she doesn't identify or associate with him anymore. So, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think that song, I'm really looking forward to that song as well. And again, I like, especially after getting This Life Is Mine, it's such a parallel to go back to like a very depressing and a very somber song outlining another chapter, or a chapter of Weiss's life that we haven't really gotten that much expression on. Aside from what we've seen in the first 4 volumes, or even the 3 volumes with, you know, with her talking about her childhood and her past and everything like that. The Path of Isolation, I think it's I think the most powerful theme of all of Weiss's development is the mirror. I think the mirror is like a symbol. I think it's a representation of her psyche. Because she constantly mentions she's looking into this mirror, she's talking to it, and a reflection, you know, at times the reflection is something that she sees, and at times it's the reflection that she gets, she doesn't know who it is, even though it's her looking through it. So I do feel like the mirror is a representation of like Weiss's her psyche, and I guess everything that is her. You know, she looks to the mirror for guidance, she looks to the mirror for advice, and in a way, her breaking her mirror is like breaking the old her, you know, especially from This Life Is Mine. And that she mentions that the mirror is a separation of her heart and her mind. But the deepest part of the lyrics for that was when she was like calling out to the mirror to help her, that she doesn't know who she is. And that, again, that's just another layer of complexity for her character, and another layer of complexity that I really appreciate, and why Weiss is still one of my all-time favorite characters. She's my favorite of Team RWBY, one of my all-time favorites thus far, just by how deep of a character she is. And I really hope, like, as much as I love the development that we get from Weiss every volume, I really hope that the theme shifts to somebody else. I do feel like maybe they're over-developing Weiss as the season goes on. She has a song dedicated to her in every soundtrack, and actually, I don't know if Volume 2 has one dedicated to her, but, like, she has, she has Mirror Mirror, she has Mirror Mirror Part 2, she has This Life Is Mine, obviously The Path of Isolation, so there's a lot dedicated to her, and not saying, like, again, not saying that I don't appreciate it, I just really hope that, other characters are able to shine, or are able to be as, explored as much as she has. Because I feel like at this point, her development is going to be on the future of Weiss Schnee instead of the past that we've been getting to learn about for the past 4 volumes now. Which again, like I appreciate it nonetheless. I just know that at some point we got to get some new characters and other characters, with development. Like I'm personally looking forward to, like, once RWBY's development starts, I feel like it's only going to be her, so I'm very fine with getting development for everybody else before that time comes. almost like the, you know, the icing on top of the cake. You know, RWBY is like the icing on the cake for the show in terms of her development, because she is, quote unquote, the main character. She's the team leader of the main team of the show, and she definitely has a lot of she definitely has a past that's worth visiting as well. So let's see. Murdy, do you think Weiss is going to be poisoned later on in the show? Since the show is based on Snow White and Snow White is given a poison apple. No, I don't. I don't think everything that happens in the inspirations of these characters are tied at all to the actual show. You know, a lot of people, and like obviously the tell, if you will, is that, you know, Pyrrha was based on Achilles and the whole Achilles heel, and that's how she was set up to die. And I feel like too many people are referencing the source material of these characters to tell the story before it happens, which I really don't think that's the case, because technically I was banking on Nora dying from Tyrion then, because Nora is a reference to Thor, and Thor was poisoned by a basilisk, I believe. I know he was poisoned, and at that time Tyrion, we discovered he's a scorpion faunus. He has poison, and like that right there, that was just a perfect setup. Like, Tyrion was there, Nora was there, the situation was there. You know, he was fighting all of them, and that would have been that could have fulfilled the source material for Nora, you know, for Nora's inspiration, but it didn't, you know, and I don't feel like it has to, or it needs to, or it should even, you know. So no, I don't believe that. Let's see. Weiss, a very socially deep character, clings to items, clearly lost something close when younger. Not a family member, otherwise she would be scared, but definitely an object. The mirror reflecting. Huh. I guess in a way she lost herself, you know? Your personal identity, who you are, your convictions, your resolve. Like, that's terrifying to lose, you know? If one day you wake up and you're just like, who am I? Like, what's my purpose? You know, like, to lose that part of you, I feel like maybe that's just as important. It doesn't have to be necessarily an item or a loved one that you have to lose in order for it to have, like, a severe amount of meaning that can change your whole life. So it could very much be, like, a self-reflecting thing. Like, this all started when I lost myself, you know, and I lost a part of me because I'm conforming to everybody else's wants and needs and desires. I'm gonna do what you want. I'm gonna do what my dad wants. I'm gonna do what's right for the family name and not for myself. And slowly but surely that just chips away at her innocence and chips away more at her identity, to the point where she just feels like a tool, you know? So, so yeah. Alright, let's see. But yeah, so that final shot was really great. Like, again, the classic slow motion moonlight shot that's kind of done in all of the trailers of RWBY that I really appreciate. Again, don't know if that was their Rooster Teeth's approach, if that's what they were trying to go for, but I noticed it and thought it was really well. A really good nod to especially to the original trailers. So there's that. And then she calls out to Winter, and just like that, training's up. You're not ready. Again, I felt like it was very much a means of... That is her thumb, I think. God damn it. How is that your thumb? Oh, is she going like this? Like this and like being on the ground? Okay, I can see it working now. God damn it. So if she's like on the ground and a Grim is coming at her, she can hold it off like that. Okay, I'm an idiot. I'm officially stupid, guys. I just realized that now. I'm like, wait, that is her oh, okay. Alright, so we got it. We've established the fact that I'm an idiot, and Weiss is not crazy flexible and doing something that's impossible to achieve. I just had to, like, lower myself. I was like, how? Oh, okay. So I just had to change around my perspective a little bit. Alright. Someone is like, finally, you get it. Yeah, I goofed up a bit. My bad. But yeah, so winter comes through. Winter! Everything ends. And the biggest thing about this, too, is that, like, she gets up and she already knows she fucked up. Right? Because she, like, stands up and she's already, like, head down. Another thing, too, that I really appreciate, because this is a flashback, Kara Eberly, her voice was a lot higher pitched, which I think it was purposely because, you know, it's a flashback, so she wants to create the illusion or create the immersion that Weiss is a bit younger. So she does sound a little bit higher pitched and a lot younger in her voice. Yeah, and basically for what everyone's saying, prepare yourselves because winter is coming. This is the moment she knew she fucked up. Again, another shot of the edged weapons. Yep, okay, yeah, I see it here now. So yeah, that makes a lot more sense. And then we get Big Sis Weiss, Big Sister Winter. So let's talk about this really quick, alright? Let's talk about this. Do you realize Weiss... Hold on a second. Let me read this really quick. I hope Whitley doesn't pull the rug from under his dad because I think his way to cope with accepting won't be a good outcome. Honestly, I think Whitley's worse than... I think Whitley has the potential to be worse than his dad. And I think that's what's going to happen. Personally, I really do believe that. But yeah, so, big thing I want to talk about right here. What a lot of people are mentioning is the death flags. Winter death flags going off on all cylinders, everybody. So, she ends up mentioning, I'm not always going to be around to save you, Weiss. To where Weiss says, I'm sorry, I'll get better. And she finishes off by saying, you'll have to be if you ever want to leave. And I guess to some people, or a lot of people rather, I don't believe personally. I don't think, I never even thought that never crossed my mind. It still doesn't. But a lot of people, and I think that's the most like thumbs up comment on my reaction too, was a lot of people have this notion or are under the impression that that line, I won't always be there to save you, Weiss, is a death flag that Winter could potentially die in the future saving Weiss. Personally, I would think it would be more of a death flag if it was the opposite. If Winter had said, I'll always be there to save you, Weiss. I could instantly see that being like, oh, fuck. She's always going to expect Big Sis to come and save her. And when that time happens, it'll be for the last time, right? When you're expecting it, that's when red flag, that's when, you know, the red flag should go up and you should be concerned, is when you're expecting it to happen. But I honestly think that her telling her sister that was just the harsh truth. Like, if it wasn't for me being here in this situation, you'd be killed. And that was the whole point of this training, was for me to train you so you wouldn't need anyone's help, because at the end of the day, you're the only one who can get yourself out of here. I can't help you, Mom can't help you, you know, Klein can't help you, you know, no one can help you but you. And I really honestly think that that was just very harsh, strict life lesson to her, which it's true. Like, if you expect to fight your way out of Atlas, to go to Beacon, to be a huntress, to fight for other people, to save lives, you have to realize that I will not be there to help you. I can help you now because we're in a controlled environment, but at the end of the day, I don't know if people didn't take it as one or the other, if people took it as one or the other, like some people, like, or both. Maybe people thought this is a life lesson, but maybe they're reading a bit too much into it. Personally, I feel like it would have been more of a death threat or death warrant or death flag, I should say, if she said, you know, don't worry, I'll always be here to save you. Because that is like a scary thing, a scary prospect, especially when you realize how dangerous the world is and how at any point something can happen, you know, especially since we know Winter is going to be around in Volume 5. But I don't think, you know, especially since this was a flashback, I get it as a flashback, but the context of what she's saying could be a factor now in the present because we know Winter is going to be in Volume 5, or she's going to be in Mistral, which is going to be the setting for Volume 5. So it's implied that we'll see her again. But no, I don't think, and I don't feel like this. If Winter does die, that's understandable. You know, big sister saving herself for little sister, but I don't think that this is the indicator, or this is something that needs to be looked into to the nth degree. This needs to be looked into for what it is. An inexperienced Weiss who's trying to do something that is bigger than she is right now, and she has to train, and she's flopping and she's faltering, and her sister has to pick her back up. But that's not always going to be the case. She can't expect people to do things for her. She can't expect people to help her and save her. Whether it's save her life or save her from a situation, either or. You know, I don't think everything needs to just look to death in order to be taken seriously, or everything has to be looked to death in order for it to have a grand meaning or a grand purpose. This, at the end of the day, I felt like that was just a very severe pep talk for the situation at the moment, which is like, you're calling out for me to help you again. It's not always going to be that way, you know? Or, bigger prospect, that could be death. If anything, I would feel that would be more death flags for Weiss, you know? I'm not always going to be around to save you, Weiss, and then a situation's brought up where Weiss is about to die, and if she dies, your sister's not around to save you. And I know I'm making light of it, but it's just for the sake of conversation. I feel like that's just as big of a prospect for death flags for Weiss, because personally, I don't think any character in this show is above dying, especially to further the story and to kind of drive the point home that the world is very, very deadly and dangerous. And yeah, Pyrrha was one death, and you know, it could be a very significant or insignificant death depending on how you want to look at the grander story. But no, I feel like any character can go. And I'm not saying that like Game of Thrones way. I'm just saying like no character is above plot armor to tell the story. Maybe RWBY. That's probably the only character, you know, and she's the only one who I think hasn't seen like stared death in the face thus far. Yang losing an arm, Blake being toyed with at this point. I feel like Adam could have killed her if he wanted to, and you know, at least Weiss. I think Weiss is the only other character that might not have, but given this situation, it seems like she has seen a little bit more than RWBY has, at least for what we've seen. But yeah, so in my opinion, I just feel like that wasn't anything of that wasn't meant to harbor any type of concern for Winter. At least not now. I don't feel that way. I feel like that was just a product of the situation, a product of the conversation at the time, which is like, you're calling out to Big Sis. Big Sis isn't always going to be around. And that's truth. That's just the truth of it, you know? I have older siblings. If any of them are in any shit, I can't always be there to help them or, you know, to help them out of, you know, troubled times or to talk to them and stuff like that. So they always have, it's always best to kind of just rely on yourself as much as you can. So it's just a life lesson that she's addressing to her sister. And then at the very end of that, she wakes up. And we realize it was all a dream. I used to read word. No, I'm just kidding. No, she wakes up. It's a flashback. A reminder of the past. Probably probably not in a way that she would want to remember it. But at the same time, she knows she's gonna see Winter. So it would make sense for her to trigger something like that, like a memory like that. Yeah, this entire character short was gorgeous, and I'm really happy that everyone was finally able to see it. The biggest thing for me going to RTX, it's always a drag to see things I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm excited and I'm glad that I'm fortunate enough to be able to go to RTX last year and this year. Fingers crossed to hope to go again next year. But like, after seeing this character short, I wanted nothing more. I was so happy when they said too, like, when they mentioned that the character short will be out within a week, because last year, Volume 4's character short came out, like, RTX was in July, and I don't think we got the character short until, like, the first week of October, or something like that. So it was, like, 3 months later before we got it. So I was just really happy that that the public was able to see it as soon as possible. And people are still seeing it now and still waiting to see it now. So it's just really great that a lot of people enjoyed it. A lot of people liked it. I really have to go to the bathroom. I made it through most of this jug. But let's see. But yeah, RWBY Volume 5 premieres October 14th. That is literally right around the corner. It's literally crazy. It's less than 3 months away. I cannot believe that, dude. And we have so much to go through before then. We have the Blake character short, which I really hope we just get more plot out of the Blake and Yang one, so we have more to discuss and more to talk about leading up to the premiere. And then we have the Yang character short. Hopefully the Blake character short will be out next month. The Yang character short will be out in September, leading into Volume 4's premiere in October. And then, you know, the rest is history when it comes to that. I'm going to be getting into a bunch of other stuff, like I mentioned. I'm going to be getting into I'm still going to be doing, like, reactions. I'm going to be doing reviews. I'm going to be doing live stream discussions because a lot of people really liked those last year, and they were well received. So I'm going to keep those up, do those again this year. I have something else that I haven't announced yet. I'm still kind of I'm working out like the kinks to see if it's something that I can do. So, because I don't want to be doing too much. I don't want to overexert myself and you know, fall short on any goals or plans that I have for Volume 5. But yeah, like I absolutely can't wait. And this was a beautiful character short. Loved it from start to finish. If you guys want, I will chat with you guys. Look at Weiss's stance. 3 minutes equals 3 hours. Woohoo. Yeah, I'm a little upset though that so part of this discussion, hold on, give me a second. Give me one moment. I think this stream is gonna be cut in half because there was that one point where it like lagged or anything, something like that, and I had to end the stream and then restart it. At least I hope so. I don't know if it's gonna be clipped all together in one. I hope so. I hope it's clipped together in one, so I don't have to worry about splitting up a video or re-uploading a video. It's just really annoying. I don't want to have to do that. Let's see. A lot of people really liked the video I did on the Weiss. I'm sorry, on the RWBY fighting game. About 20,000 views on that, so I'm really happy people are expecting that. Give me 1 second. I really have to go to the bathroom. Like, I can't hold this in. So I'm gonna put this up really quick. I will be right back. Just chat amongst yourselves. Don't destroy the stream. Don't destroy the stream until I get back. Enjoy the music, courtesy of Jeremiah George, and I will be right back. Ah. Oh no, my mic. I literally pressed the mic button and it didn't work. Okay. Show the stick of butter. Alright, my bad. Okay, audio's better now. Audio's better. Sorry, guys. God damn it. I pressed the button too and it didn't work. Anyways, let me start that back up. So, I'll dedicate like the last like 15-20 minutes if you guys want. We can do Q&A. We can talk about discussing anything that I didn't mention, if you guys have questions for that, just because I do know that I get lost in my rambles from time to time, and it's very hard to kind of stay focused and keep up with you guys on the go. Give me 1 second. I just need to do one thing really quick. But yeah, we can get into questions if you guys want and stuff like that. How did you guys enjoy the live stream? Also, let me take off, I'm gonna take off, slow mode. Actually, you know what? Since we're doing Q&As, I'm not gonna do that. That's probably the worst idea ever. I'm like, let me do a Q&A. Oh, let me take off these restraints really quick. No, I won't be doing that. Let's see. Okay, questions. Let's see. Hey, Murder, what is your summoner name for League of Legends? I want to add you so we can play. My summoner name is Murder of Crows. Murder space of space and then Crows spelt like crow from RWBY. QROWS. I'm a support main, so just keep that in mind. Let's see. Will you fight me in Blaze Blue cross tag battle? Oh, actually, right now, I actually got Blaze Blue Central Fiction for PS4, so I'm actually learning the fundamentals of fighting games now. In the hopes of being able to play next year, and also in the hopes, fingers crossed, that they put a bit more RWBY characters in there. I really hope that it's not only for promotion and, you know, collaboration, but also an experiment to see the potential of a standalone fighting game in the future of the RWBY series. So I'll absolutely verse you, Dan. Absolutely, no questions asked. Let's see. Who's your favorite character and favorite song? Those two things constantly change, so I never really give a definitive answer. I do apologize if that's like a cop-out answer. But, especially favorite character, like, I really don't have, like, I usually, my go-to answer for that is Pyrrha, because, like, her character is solidified. Like, there's no more or less development we can get from that character. But I tend to want to keep my options reserved, or my opinions reserved on favorites, especially until the show's ended, or until we actually get the full gist of what these characters are, because like, the show's still going on, you know what I mean? So I feel like any character can change, you know, like your favorite character, oh, I like them for this, and that, and then it turns out they're a piece of shit. By the end, they become a villain, they kill people and all that jazz, so you never really know, you know, so I like to keep those opinions reserved a bit in terms of, like, getting more information and learning more about these characters before I jump the gun and you know, just decide so-and-so's my favorite too soon. Let's see. Good thinking. Please don't turn off slow mode. Don't worry, dude. I got you. I thought about that a little. I thought about that before I acted on it. Let's see. Do you think the mirror that Weiss keeps referencing to is to a maiden inside her, as though the maiden doesn't think is ready for the torch? Also scared. No, I don't think so. Maidens, the maidens already exist. Like, the maidens are already out there, right? None of the maidens are the girls, simply because, like, they already. I already feel like they know the identities of the already existing maidens, and to have that plot twist of, oh, this character who still doesn't even really know how to fight, it just so happens to be this maid. I feel like that's too cliche, and it's just really lazy writing if they were to just do that. So no, I don't think. I think the 4 maidens that exist in the world of Remnant are already existing characters that are none of the characters that we know of. Similar to like Amber, like, and Crow and Raven already know about the existence, like Tyrion and Salem. They already know the existence of the Spring Maiden, right? These are people that already exist in the world. I don't think there's any reason. I don't think there's any reason to kind of make the maidens be anybody that we already know of. Now, when it comes to the passage of the power, if it goes to one of the girls that we know in the show, that's understandable. But for the origin of, like, the maiden's powers, we happen to find it, and it's in RWBY or Blake. I feel like that's just a cop-out, you know what I mean? And not really thought through or well thought out at all. So, I don't really think anybody is a maiden that we know of in the show. Let's see. How long do you think this character short is before the winter before the white trailer? How long do you think this character short is? This character short's 4 minutes. So I think it's a little shorter than the white trailer. Let's see. Who's your favorite character from BlazBlue so far? Noelle Vermillion, I think, is my favorite character to play as. I haven't played as the entire roster, so I can't really. That's a very biased statement. Let's see. Maidens are separate maidens are separate conscious entities. No, it's nothing like that. I think he just meant, like, the power itself, because the maidens aren't consciouses. You know? Let's see. Do you think we'll see Neptune in Volume 5, and do you think Weiss and Neptune are a good mixture? The chemistry that Neptune and Weiss has is very much plausible. I feel like their chemistry is very, very suitable, like, for a relationship, just because it's what we've seen in the show thus far. Personally, I really don't care if they do get together. It's whatever. And your second question, Neptune, I very much think we will see Team Sun and Team Arburn in Volume 5, because they both hail from Haven Academy, which is located in Mistral. So Team Sun and Team Arburn. Fingers crossed on Team Arburn, because I really don't want them to have just been a throwaway team for the sake of the tournament, since they're from Haven, you know what I mean? So hopefully we'll see them as well. Alright, will you live stream your BlazBlue gameplay on Twitch? Probably not. I'm not a big fighting game fan, and I'm not that great either. I've been playing with my friend. I played matches with my friend Lewis and Mason. They're really big fighting game fans. We played 20 matches, and I lost all 20 matches. Granted, I won a few rounds, but out of best out of 3s, I lost all those matches. So I definitely have a long way to go. I will be streaming tomorrow, though, on Twitch. For those of you who are in here who don't know, I stream video games over on twitch.tv/MurderofBirds. You can find the link to that in the description. Also, really quick, let me just mention this, get this out of the way. I have already seen the trailer for the Kingdom Hearts 3 New World reveal, which is Toy Story for Kingdom Hearts 3. I did not record a reaction to it. I watched it when I was already sick, and it was over that weekend. So, I watched it with a few friends, and I didn't not want to watch it just because I was sick. And I understood that some people would be a bit disappointed if I didn't upload a reaction. But at the end of the day, I don't want to be out of the loop when it comes to discussions. So, it's coming, Kingdom Hearts 3, presumably coming out next year, 2018. They just have the release year. So I'm going to be picking up the pace when it comes to my Kingdom Hearts playthroughs. For those of you who don't know, or for those of you who have seen, I did my first playthrough of the first Kingdom Hearts 1, got the 100% playthrough on Twitch, and tomorrow I'm going to be starting my playthrough of Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, which is the direct sequel to Kingdom Hearts 1. I'm going to be streaming that on Twitch tomorrow, and I'm basically just going to be ramping up in terms of streaming because I want to finish all the Kingdom Hearts games before KH3 comes out. So there's that. Somebody mentioned when are we going to get reaction videos for RWBY Chibi and Red vs. Blue. I'm going to be getting back to recording on Monday. A few things are going to be a little bit in order. I have to address a few things when it comes to RWBY Chibi. Episode 8 I haven't seen, but episode 9 and 10 were shown at RTX. I recorded my reaction to episode 9 at RTX, but episode 10 they were very strict on nobody recording, so I've already seen that, and there's no footage of it. So I'm going to have to go about something with that. And then when it comes to RWBY, I just have to get back to that, which like I said, I'm going to be getting back to it, recording videos on Monday, and, you know, throughout, just because it's been a couple of weeks, and it would have been back by now if I was not sick, but I was sick all last week into this week, so, I just wanted to take it extra carefully, especially coming back from RTX, and then being sick, and then having to get over that, and then having all of the stuff, you know, that I've been dealing with lately with, the character short coming out, my reaction to it, the news and information about, like, the RWBY fighting game and everything else, so I felt I was just behind on a lot of other stuff. So, just wanted to address that and let you guys know, about all that information and whatnot. So, let's see, do you think RWBY's Silver Eyes will be explained? Well, technically they already were. Like, Crow did a lot in kind of establishing, like, what the eyes themselves do, but the concept of the eyes and the concept of people born with them. But I think that was just a little spark. Like, the Silver Eyes, I feel like were just a spark to for a concept that will be brought up and addressed later. But yeah, obviously, everything that we don't know everything about will eventually be addressed and fulfilled. Will it be fulfilled in Volume 5? I doubt it. I feel like Volume 5 is definitely going to be a very setup volume as well, just because it's a new kingdom with new customs and new, you know, traditions and people and environments and, you know, a bunch of different stuff. A lot of, especially for the new characters and new people that we're going to be seeing, new headmaster, you know, other students and people that are from Mistral. And, you know, everything else just in between, Crow and Ozpin being back together, what Salem is going to be doing, you know, with finding the maiden and stuff like that. So there's just a lot of stuff to break down. Let's see. How do you think Oscar will fight? I think Oscar is going to have to learn how to fight, but I believe that, I honestly, I'm kind of wondering if, like if Ozpin's gonna fight using Ozpin's, like, Oscar's body, you know, like Oscar's basically just gonna be a vessel for Ozpin. I'm wondering. Yes, guys, no caps. No excessive caps, please. Any flashback of Summer Rose would be essential. I feel like we will just get, like, a flashback episode. I really hope we get a flashback episode of Team Stark. Maybe seeing the process of their, you know, them being together, what caused them to separate, how Summer died, how Raven, like, left, and you know, what that meant for Ty and Crow with, you know, raising his nieces, and, you know, with RWBY and Yang and stuff like that. So, really hope we get to see that as well. Wouldn't that mean Ozpin was a vessel? Well, I'm speaking on my own interpretation of what I would expect or what I would like to see, considering Oscar probably has no training whatsoever. But then again, who knows? Like, who knows how Ozpin was trained? You know, maybe he was self-taught, or maybe whoever, you know, passed whatever lineage was passed down to him taught him how to fight. You know what I mean? Oscar has no combat training or experience, so that's the only reason why I feel like it would be for Ozpin to kind of take him over and you know, assume control, if you will. Let's see. Hey Arnold, do you think Winter Maiden is a Schnee ancestor? I don't think, honestly, I really don't. But then again, if it's in the cards, it's in the cards, but I don't really know, to be completely honest. First off, meeting Pyrrha's family, parents and family, get closure. Second, investigate the shit out of Mistral. Third, fail to yet again stop Salem's forces from winning. Yeah, I'm just wondering how much more Pyrrha is gonna be a factor when it comes to RWBY, aside from just being a martyr. You know what I mean? Like, obviously Volume 3 was the send-off, and then Volume 4, Episode 2 was the remembrance of her, and, you know, everything that they're fighting for, you know, with Jean and everything like that, with her no longer being around. And I just hope that it doesn't become like a constant thing, like Pyrrha is gonna be brought up or referenced every so often. You know what I mean? But yeah, from it's suggested that she is from Mistral. And that'll be another tough one. That's gonna be another tough episode to get through, especially just because it's just so overwhelmingly sad. You know, it's very, very tragic of a loss, and I just really hope they don't go the route of like Attack on Titan, like when spoiler alert for those of you who haven't watched Attack on Titan. But if it doesn't go the route of, like, Petra, like her dad coming out, being all excited, talking to Levi about his daughter and her being too young to marry, but he feels like he's the perfect man, and the whole time you fucking walk in, you just see Levi's just stoic face of just, like, it's like he's not even alive anymore, you know, because we all know, like, what happened to her. So I just really hope that that's not what happened. Like, that was just a terrible scene to watch in Attack on Titan. Because I do feel like she was a fan favorite to a lot of people. And, I don't know. They could go about that a million different ways, you know. And that's considering, you know, does she have a mother? You know, she has a mother. Does she have a father? Does she have siblings? You know what I mean? Does she have friends back at home that care about her or know about, you know, what happened to her? So that's the big thing too, like, as if they don't know. That's the worst thing. That's the absolute worst thing, which I would hope that they would at least know, because it's been 6 to 8 months. I feel like everybody in the world at least knows about the fall of Beacon, and you have all these other students who went back home, so it's like I could see them knowing already, but I would just be very heartbroken if they didn't. It's like, because then the big question is, well, why don't you know? You know what I mean? Especially since students are back home. Like, so you have Team Sun that's back home. You have Arbern who's back in Mistral. And they can easily spread the word around, like, this is what happened, you know? So, but yeah. It's just a bummer if it goes back that route, because it's like we can never escape it. You know, granted, I'm wearing a Pyrrha shirt. But no, it's like you can never escape it, you know what I mean? It's like no matter what, it'll always be looming over you, and it's always a reminder. Oh, sweet, you have a good night, dude. Thanks for sticking around. Appreciate it. It was great meeting you like 7-8 times throughout RTX also. Off topic, RWBY. I did mention this already, but I'm going to be getting back to recording Red vs. Blue videos on Monday. I already mentioned this in another video. Granted, if people didn't watch it because it's RWBY based, then I understand, but I've been sick. Well, I was sick Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I didn't get better until Monday afternoon. So I was sick basically ever since I got back from RTX. And that's what set the videos back. But I'm going to be getting back to RWBY. I'm going to be getting back to RWBY Chibi. Now that the character short's done and everything is done and out of the way with that, I don't have to worry about any new information or news about RWBY for a while. It'll give me time to recharge and fix, and get back on schedule with the videos that I've had, the videos that I would have normally been doing if I wasn't sick. So yeah, it's just going to be a little bit more of a wait. But next week, videos should be coming back out in a regular scheduled manner. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Brandon? Hey, just saying hi, Arnold. I'm at work, but I'm on break. I'll be sure to watch the stream after work. Dude, we need to catch up. How are you doing? How's Walker and everybody and Johnny? Did you guys talk about the trailer at all? Dude, I love to catch. I haven't talked with you guys in forever. Let's see. This was an awesome stream. Have a good night, Arnold in chat. All right, you have a good night as well. Well, let me double check this really quick. For some reason, I'm wondering if this stream is going to be one cohesive stream or not. Because the stream normally is supposed to be split in half because it restarted. I had to restart it because of lag. But I don't see the first half of the stream in like a processor or anything, like in my messenger file. It still says I'm actually live right now with the whole thing. So I'm wondering if it'll even pick up on that. I'm not entirely sure. But if it doesn't, it'll most likely come out in 2 streams. The first one will be 40 minutes. The second one will be about 2 hours. So yeah, that's just the matter. That's just the... Hopefully people will still understand that and watch through both of them. Just because that is a little unfortunate. I kind of hate how stuff like that happens. Not a video yet, but it's been good. Hoping to gather everyone together for Volume 5. Hit me up tonight or later tomorrow. Will do. Well, it's already 10 o'clock right now. I'll still try to hit you up later. I'm going to be streaming tomorrow, though. I'm going to be streaming Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. I'm going to be starting that on twitch.tv/MurderofBirds. Just because it's already been confirmed that Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out next year. So I basically have a year to get through all of the Kingdom Hearts titles. So that's going to be fun. Hey, what's up, dude? Christian. Finally unpacking today after moving. Nice. Let's see. Huh. Favorite Keyblade? Oblivion and Oathkeeper. Those are my favorites. Yeah. But with that, guys, I'm going to call it a night. It's been an awesome 3 hours chatting with you guys, going through the RWBY Volume 5 Weiss character short. I hope you guys enjoyed it for as much. I don't know, for people on YouTube, I don't know if it's cut into 2, but if not, I hope you guys enjoyed it nonetheless. There were a little bit of hiccups here and there, but hopefully you guys were able to bear through that. Like I said, I'm going to be streaming over on Twitch tomorrow, so if you guys aren't following me, be sure to do so. But overall, RWBY Volume 5 is already upon us. It's going to be really, 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 really exciting to see where the Blake and the Yang trailer take us in terms of, you know, are we going to get flashbacks? Are we going to get current plot progression? You know, is it like, there's just so many different routes that they can go, especially with showing off the fidelity of the trailer, showing off the fidelity of what Volume 5 is going to be like once it actually comes out in October. But I do hope you guys enjoyed. Leave me your thoughts in the comments like you guys always do. I always appreciate your feedback. Like I said, I'm going to be streaming tomorrow. Videos will be coming back in the pipeline as a regular schedule as of next week. So RWBY Chibi, Red vs. Blue, you know, things of that nature and whatnot as I'm catching up with those series. We have less than 3 months until RWBY Volume 5. And I will be doing a live stream discussion for the Blake character short as well as the Gang character short. And if there's enough to extrapolate, I will also be making individual analysis videos for those. I was going to do it for this one, but this one seemed very straightforward and to the point, and it was a flashback, so there wasn't a lot to take in. It was mainly action-oriented at the end of the day. So yeah, I do appreciate all of you guys' support. Thank you guys so much for joining. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will see you guys who are going to be in the stream for tomorrow, and you guys have a great night. Take care.